Many big games and black and white days in television. You see the chill factor down to 8 below. Today the Oilers and the Browns will be teeing it up in living color on NBC Sports in a most important game. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Winter has come full force to Northern Ohio, and the Cleveland Browns couldn't be happier. They like it ugly, as their season has been reduced to this one game. In truth, for Cleveland, the playoffs start today. They have to win. They go in as a wild card if they do on the home field. If they lose, they're out of the playoffs. Coach Schottenheimer is pleased with all that, though, Trump.
Yeah, Don, he told us yesterday, he said, this is the kind of game I like. I put my team in a situation where you go out, all the money's on the table. The winner takes it all home with him, and that's Cleveland's situation. Now, Jerry Glanville, the Houston Oilers coach, of course, they play well and play best in the House of Pain, and he's admitted he has an offense that's designed to play indoors. Well, they are definitely outdoors today in Cleveland.
Yes, they are. They're on grass, although Glanville says it's not really grass, it's painted dirt. But nonetheless, they'll have to contend with gold, and there is Coach Glanville, whose Oilers beat the Browns earlier by a 24-17 score at the Astrodome. Jerry Glanville comes in with a 10-5 team. Marty Schottenheimer's Browns are 9-6. Browns have won the toss, and they will be receiving to start the game.
This is a season for the Cleveland Browns that is below expectations. They've made 6 trips to the playoffs in the 80s. 2 straight trips in the last 2 years to the AFC Championship game, and today they're looking for a spot in the playoffs, and they have a warm weather quarterback replacing Bernie Kosar. Strock, 14 years with the Miami Dolphins, now up here in the cold and winter of Cleveland Municipal Stadium.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, and ready to kick it off for the Houston Oilers is Tony Zendejas. The Oiler regulars have not, Trump, played a cold weather game since 1985. So we'll see how they respond. They seem pretty optimistic. They were out having snowball fights when they checked in here yesterday.
Don, emotion can absolutely, I should say cold, can absolutely rob a team of emotion. That's why the Houston Oilers must start very quickly so the cold doesn't bother them. I think Cleveland's used to this cold. For the last 6 weeks, they've had weather approaching this in the Cleveland area.
No question. That's what Schottenheimer said. We've been practicing in it and practicing well. Here's Zendejas kicking the ball downfield. Herman Fontenot will run the ball back from his 4-yard line. He's to the 15, right in the channel, and he gets across the 30 and out to the 38-yard line. A break in the kick coverage of the Houston Oilers and a good run back of 34 yards. Don Strock, the 15-year veteran, getting the starting call today with Ernest Biner and Herman Fontenot his runners. Langhorne and Slaughter are the wide receivers, and the veteran Ozzie Newsome at tight end. There's been criticism of the offensive line, Trump, as you know. They've not pass blocked well in the recent days, and Bernie Kosar went down when he was blitzed Monday night at Miami.
Don, there's already a change for the Cleveland Browns. They've got Fontenot and Biner in the backfield, and you see Fontenot, he's split out.
He's a good pass catcher. Number 1 in receptions on the Browns, Biner, with 54, but this time they go to the run. And tough Ernest Biner takes it right at the Oiler defense and gets out to about the 41-yard line. The Oilers on defense have Ray Childress at left end. Bird and Fuller are the other 2 defensive linemen. Childress will be going to the Pro Bowl. Linebackers don't get a lot of acclaim, but they've played very well. Meads is a blitzer on the right side. Grimsley having a big year. And the secondary is very sound. Bostic was a first-team All-Pro player last year. He won't make the Pro Bowl, though he was tied for votes this year. But another player goes because of a better team record. That's David Fulcher of the Bengals. So they're good in the secondary, but the footing is bad today for both teams as the handoff goes, and not for much. On a 2nd down and 6 run, Herman Fontenot runs the ball. And he may have lost a yard, Trump, as he was knocked back by the nose tackle, Richard Bird.
And this Houston Oilers defense is very versatile. They use a lot of situation substitution. And for the Cleveland Browns, their task in the opening drive here, hang on to the football. 7 times this season, they have turned the ball over in the opening drive.
So the Browns now have 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and about 5. Don Strock 6'5", 220 pounds, sets himself in the shotgun. 14 years in Miami. He doesn't love these conditions either.
Now look at that. There are 10 guys within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage for Houston. Blitz coming.
All-out blitz, and he throws against it, but it's intercepted. It is picked off by the Oilers. And it'll be run back by Domingo Bryant across midfield and down to about the 38-yard line of Cleveland. Webster Slaughter, the intended receiver, but a big blitz by the Oilers. Trump and Strock laid it up soft against the blitz.
And Don, that's now 8 games that the Cleveland Browns have turned the ball over in the opening drive. He's trying to avoid the blitz. It was Jeff Donaldson, 31, coming right up the middle. He puts Strock on his back, and there's Jerry Glanville. He's from Perrysburg, Ohio. He's used to this cold. A lot of his players are not. First advantage of the game, obviously, to Houston.
First and 10 now for the Oilers after the interception by Domingo Bryant, a defensive back from Texas A&M. Straight ahead run, and there's not much there for Mike Rozier as he stuffed Carl Hairston, number 78. Big Daddy and the defensive line made the knockdown. No gain. Second down and 10 Oilers. Warren Moon at quarterback. He'll be going to the Pro Bowl. So will his runner Mike Rozier. Drew Hill's another Pro Bowl player, a wide receiver who's already caught 67 passes this season. Excellent offense, and the offensive line has been superb. The 2 best guards maybe in the conference, Munchak and Matthews, both Pro Bowl players. Davis and Steinkuhler are the guards, and Kennison's been very effective at center. This team runs the ball over 4 yards at try. Oh, they got nothing on their first carry today. Warren Moon checking off at the line of scrimmage. Here's a blitz against Moon. He eludes it. Looking way downfield, and Warren Moon lets her fly. He makes the connection. Running with the ball is Ernest Givens in the open field. And he's down to the 21-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. So early on, Trump, the Oiler offense takes the Brown crowd out of the game. That was a 16-yard gain.
If you think that Warren Moon is going to be affected by this cold, I want to remind all the fans that Warren Moon was the first professional quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards, and he did it in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Directed the Eskimos to 5 straight Grey Cups. He doesn't like the cold, but he can function in the cold.
I was talking to him yesterday at their limited practice. He said, it's the wind that gets you. You can play in cold, but the wind's the variable that you can't tell what it's going to do to the ball. Winds could be kicking up. Chill factor is 8 degrees below 0 at kickoff. Fumble ball. Warren Moon gets it back on first down. It is at the 27-yard line of Cleveland.
Don, it appears to me that Warren Moon simply takes his eye off the ball. Now he's trying to scan coverage as it comes back. Yeah, you'll see it's off target a little bit, but that's certainly a catchable snap. Pennison didn't do a bad job there, and Pennison is the center. And when you're in the shotgun, some coaches don't like the shotgun because the quarterback must not only look for the football from the center, but also read coverage.
And one of the problems when you're on the road with a shotgun, the home crowd can take you out of it. The Browns couldn't use the shotgun effectively at the Astrodome, and now Moon is up behind his center. The better to hear him call signals. Second down and 14. Here's a handoff. Breaking into open field is Alonzo Highsmith, a 240-pound power back from Miami of Florida. Mike Johnson made the stop for the Cleveland Browns.
And I can't tell you how much pressure there is on this Cleveland Brown defense. This has not been a very high-scoring offense. And Golick, Sims, and Harrison up front. There's an interchangeable defensive line. Matthews going to the Pro Bowl, but it's all on the shoulders of this group today. They got to stop Houston.
Big loss at right corner, where a first-team All-Pro from a season ago, Hanford Dixon, is out today as they're barking in the pound. Trying to get that Cleveland defense to get it back. Cleveland turned it over on its first possession. An interception. Here's Warren Moon on third down. And a drop ball at the 15-yard line. Got it to the wrong side of Ernest Givens as Dave Grayson, a blitzing outside linebacker, number 56, put the heat on Warren Moon, made him trigger it early.
Oh, we got... It was Braggs who came on the blitz. Now you see, coming from the outside, Grayson is 56, but the Cleveland Browns taking a heck of a chance, coming up with a 5th defensive back blitz. Stephen Braggs makes Warren Moon throw early.
Here's a field goal try now in this frozen grass field. Zendejas hits it. He's got plenty behind it, and he's right through the middle. So the Oilers go very well early, intercepting the first pass of the day by Don Strock. Domingo Bryant running it back to the Cleveland side of the field. And finally, Zendejas converts for points on a 39-yard field goal. The footing is tough, but the Oiler hold and kick were perfect.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
This Bud's for you. This Bud's for you.
The drive is on. Mazda's year-end sales drive. It's been a big year for Mazda trucks. They were rated #1 in customer satisfaction for the 3rd straight year. Now, your Mazda dealer wants to satisfy still more customers with special incentives that can save you hundreds on any Mazda truck. Get to your Mazda dealer's year-end sales drive and drive one home today.
Come drive a Mazda.
The year-end sales drive ends soon. See your local Mazda dealer now.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
This Christmas, I gave the grandkids Radio Shack radio-controlled cars. Bobby's Golden Arrow has racing suspension and speed to burn up the track. Kim's Turbo Wing Buggy has big tires and a crash-absorbing front bumper. And wait till Teddy revs up his Turbo Lamborghini.
Grandpa, there's dirt on my wheels. Mine too.
Old Santa must have taken him out for a little test drive.
Remote radio controlled toys from $9.95 to $119.95. Only at Radio Shack.
A buildup of snow at the open end zone here at Cleveland Stadium. The temperatures will be dropping. The lights are on. The field was in fairly good field condition, I think, before the game, wasn't it, Trump? But then as the day wears on, that wind blows. It can freeze up fast. Glenn Young is back deep again now with Herman Fontenot.
Don, the problem with this turf is when you take the tarp off, then it really begins to freeze. It was a little soft yesterday afternoon, but now it's getting as hard as a pool table.
Zendejas hits a high spinner that'll carry short to Fontenot, this time at his 7-yard line. 15 on the 20 with a stutter step. Herman Fontenot from LSU lunges out to the 22-yard line. And the Cleveland Browns offense goes on offense a second time. Dean Biasucci's kicked a field goal in a very important game. The Colts still alive. They are leading the Bills 3-0 in the first quarter. Pittsburgh has gone in front of the Miami Dolphins in one of only 4 games on the final card, the final weekend's card, that don't mean anything as far as the playoffs are concerned.
On so far initial stages of this football game, emotion solidly on the side of the Houston Oilers. Now somehow the Cleveland Browns, with a very suspect running game without Kevin McInerney, do have to reestablish 1, control of the line of scrimmage, 2, control of the motion in the game.
Oilers are leading at 3-0 after intercepting Don Strock on his first throw. First and 10. Biner to the run, and those big Oilers up front make the knockdown. You watch the Houston linebackers. They play well off the line of scrimmage. Then at the snap, they run to the ball. Very fast, mobile linebackers.
Johnny Means on the outside. His nickname is Squint Eyes on the team. Everybody on the Oilers has a nickname. Means is that inside blitzer. Fires right inside of Ozzie Newsome, and there to make the tackle for little or no gain.
What a game, Trump. Jerry Glanville described Meads to me as a trained killer.
He's the guy, along with Lyles, that they get most of their blitzing from outside linebackers.
Derek Tennell is in now as a second tight end. Second down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. 80,000 at Cleveland Stadium as Don Strock for Bernie Kosar makes a connection, and the ball is taken away. That ball is live. Now they're going to rule it down.
Wait a minute. This is going to be reviewed.
It sure is. Steve Brown looked like he stole the ball before the receiver Webster Slaughter was down.
Could not agree with you more. Now you have the situation of the simultaneous reception, but watch what happens. It looks like the receiver catches it with one hand, and Brown, I think he gets that ball away. That is going to be a very difficult call for the replay official to make. But it did appear that Steve Brown was able to strip that ball away. Glanville will take any decision favoring Houston.
Down by contact, still Cleveland's ball.
You know, we hear that too much. This down by contact is employed a great deal too much now when it comes to the replay. That play was not finished when that ball came loose. And I realize that down on contact replay is not utilized, but that seems to be the comfortable way now to avoid going to the replay. See if we can pick it up again. See it? You can see Slaughter really doesn't have the ball, and I'm telling you, there's no way that's down on contact, but it is the Cleveland Browns' first down of the game.
So the Oilers very nearly have 2 turnovers on the first 2 throws by Don Strock.
Wait a minute, Don, I think they're reviewing it again.
Are they all right?
I think you've got the referee talking to the umpire right there at the 30-yard line.
This game's could turn early on that. The Houston Oilers have gone in front 3-0 on a 39-yard field goal by Zendejas after the interception by Domingo Bryan.
I think they're looking again. This is the second angle we showed it. Slaughter on the catch. Allen's 24. Now the question is, does he have any control of it when his knees hit the ground?
I think it's going to be one of those. Not enough evidence.
Well, I'd buy that, but this down on contact seems to be the first word in the dictionary.
These Oilers.
He's saying touchdown. Steve Brown took it in for a touchdown.
Coach Glanville hasn't endeared himself to anyone in Cleveland with some of his remarks.
After review by replay, the ruling is incomplete pass. Third down at the 22.
Well, it's not as good as a takeaway, but it's better than a completed pass for the Oilers, and not for Marty Schottenheimer, whose team is off to an early deficit, down 3-0.
I didn't think there was a C in this multiple choice, either ours or theirs or nobody's.
Because Glanville said the good thing about going to Cleveland to play is that you get to leave when the game's over, and that initiated a barrage of anti-Houston sentiment up here in Cleveland. So the whole thing's getting kind of ugly, but that's really kind of like they like it on a game day like this. Is right now they go to the shotgun, and Don Strock is getting back to his 16-yard line. 4-man rush against him, and he fires hard up the middle and makes the connection to wide receiver Reggie Langhorne out across the 35-yard line. They might rule he was in the grasp of penalty marker could be down. There is a marker down front with a holding penalty signaled against the Cleveland Browns. So a big hit on the throw is negated by the penalty.
Is Larry Williams the suspect?
Holding number 70, offense, 10 yards, still third down.
We'll show you Larry Williams, the offensive left guard right here. Now this pass rush of the Houston Oilers is absolutely the #1 thing they're looking for. You see the stunt inside by big Sean Jones, and Larry Williams has got to put his hand in front of him. So far, Cleveland Browns without a first down.
Browns have won 7 of their last 9 against the Oilers. Houston's regular team has not won here in Cleveland since 1981. The Oilers lead now 3-0 as Strock throws out in the flat. Nice throw and a catch. On the run is Lips to Slaughter. In open field, Puttin moves down, and Slaughter goes down to the 46-yard line of the Oilers, where an extra defensive back, Richard Johnson, finally caught him and knocked him down. Big gain, a 41-yard gain for the Cleveland Browns.
You see him on the outside. Patrick Allen is the man in coverage, and this is zone by the Houston Oilers. That's a defense that they do not like to play. Even though it appeared Allen was up and bump and run, it was in fact zone. And the Houston Oilers would much prefer to be up there and bothering receivers all over the field. Slaughter turns it into a huge gain. First down for the Browns today.
Biggest catch of the season, too, Trump, for Slaughter.
Reverse.
They fake the reverse, and here's a long ball downfield, and it's almost picked off, and there is a marker down in the Houston secondary. Herman Fontenot swinging quickly out of the backfield. Going deep for the ball thrown by Strock. Patrick Allen was covering.
That's delay of game.
Delay of game before the snap. Offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Now that's one of the criticisms that Marty Schottenheimer has taken this year, that they've been caught with 9 guys on the field, sometimes with 12. It's my estimation that that's not the head coach's fault. When you have a multiple offense, the players are the ones who have to be aware when this formation requires this group of players. You can keep finding them, but I don't know that you can blame the head coach.
Puts him in a very difficult down and yardage situation. Don Strock played 14 years with the Miami Dolphins. He left that team in August in a contract dispute. They released him. He signed with Cleveland in September, started a game against the Eagles, which the Browns won. In October, it was his first start in 5 years. A lot of the plays are on a band on his left wrist, so he can stay on the same page with the Cleveland offense. Straight ahead, Biner goes on a 1st and 15 play to the 49-yard line of Houston. Don Strock's a winning player, though. He's backed up a lot of good QBs in Miami, like Greasy and Morrill, and most recently Dan Marino. As you look at the scoreboard changing now, Miami's come back to tie the Steelers 7-7. Tampa Bay up on Detroit.
On to this point, Browns getting all their yardage passing. They cannot win this game throwing the ball 50 times today. They have got to generate a running game here.
That was their hope coming in, that they would get the run going. They felt the home crowd would help that because they could hear signals, and perhaps Houston's running game would be off because they could not. Oilers with an early lead, 3-0. A timing pattern. It's intercepted. So Strock is picked off again. This time it's Richard Johnson, an extra defensive back. 6th man in there, and he picks off Strock. So Don Strock is off to an awful start today, and Bernie Kosar's not even in uniform.
Don, it's a 3-step drop, and you see a great job by Johnson cheating to the inside. When Fontenot goes in there, both players have the same opportunity to go for the football. Johnson comes up with the 2nd turnover of the day for Houston.
Some people see shaving as something you do for 3 minutes a day. At Braun, we see it as something you do for a lifetime, and we think you should make the best of it. The Braun shaver, with its 3 shaving positions. Designed for those who choose to make a virtue out of necessity. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
You might expect a guy who flies a jet like this to drive a jet like this, the Mazda MX-6 GT. If you also expect it to fly through the wide open spaces, you're right. But you probably don't expect to find all this wide open space inside. I guess that makes it the one sports coupe which flies in the face of convention. The Mazda MX-6 GT, sports coupe the Mazda way.
That's a snow leopard? Yeah, that's a tiger.
Come to Wendy's for your cuddly animals and help us help World Wildlife Fund protect the real ones.
And that's Mom. Uh-oh.
Get your kids all 4 wild animals only at Wendy's.
Will your new car outlive your new car loan? Add STP's new Supra wear control to your oil to help reduce wear and help your engine last longer, to protect your investment down the road. Buy STP Supra wear control now and save half off the purchase price.
Cleveland Browns with 2 possessions so far today, and twice Don Strock has been intercepted. As Bernie Kosar, a standout for Cleveland, who missed 6 games earlier in the season with an injury. An injured elbow, is now out with a bad knee, suffered in a loss to Miami last Monday night. Here's Strock after he threw another one away.
Wrong choice. Threw it into coverage. Should never have thrown that ball.
So Warren Moon takes the Oiler offense out again. Here's a swing pass to Rozier. The hard running back from Nebraska is out to the 48-yard line on a 1st down play. He's good for a gain of upwards of 6 yards, maybe 7. Clay Matthews, an all-star outside linebacker, made the stop for the Browns.
That's a very unusual pass by the Houston Oilers. Jerry Glanville's offense, especially the passes down the field, he does not like dump-off passes. He says if we want to dump the ball off, we hand it off. We don't throw it out there. Rozier, their big back, the Houston Oilers.
Oilers are coming out their most impressive performance of the season. Last weekend at the Astrodome, they blasted the Bengals 44-7. Pitch back. Running hard is Alan Pinkett, and he gets close to the first down. Struck hard as he goes out of bounds by linebacker Mike Johnson, number 59.
Alan Pinkett averaging 4.3 yards a carry this season. But here is the first brother combination to play in the Pro Bowl. 57 Clay, older brother, younger brother Bruce. 74 for the Houston Oilers. Bruce has played all 5 offensive line positions for the Houston Oilers. Finally makes the Pro Bowl at guard.
He was the leading vote getter of all the American Conference guards, Bruce Matthews. There's Clay, his older brother, going off. Both play collegiately at Southern California. Clay Matthews is going to the Pro Bowl for a 4th time as Warren Moon throws on 3rd and short. Tip ball incomplete. It's 4th down for the Oilers. Mike Johnson, number 59, makes the play again. Inside linebacker from Virginia Tech.
You know, the thing that surprises me is with this bad field, certainly inclement conditions, both teams doing nothing but throwing the football. That was 3rd and about a yard, and the Houston Oilers' choice is to throw it rather than run it.
Greg Montgomery, a rookie punter, a standout from Michigan State, could be trouble today. He's lost 12 pounds in the last week. He had problems with impacted teeth. He's in there to do his best. Gets a low snap, steps into it, hits a knuckleball downfield at the Ice Cube. Gerald McNeil comes up on and fields over the shoulder on the run. And at 145 pounds, in his wisdom, McNeil steps out of bounds rather than take a head-on hit. A 38-yard punt, a 2-yard return. And Don Strock will try to move the team for a 3rd time. He's been intercepted twice.
Mazda's got a brand new vehicle that's as unique and special and friendly as the family dog. It's the all-new Mazda MPV. It carries 7 like a wagon, it's versatile like a van, and with its responsive V6, it performs like a Mazda. If Mazda's MPV sounds like something that's never been before, you're right. About the only thing it won't do is get your paper in the morning. The all-new Mazda MPV. Family transportation, the Mazda way.
Linebacker Eddie Johnson of the Browns, an imposing presence even without that mask he got from a friend who's a professional wrestler. As right now, the Cleveland Browns 0 for 2 on previous drives, both stopped by interceptions by the Oilers as Don Strock looks to get him going again. He did hit 141-yard throw. This time to give straight up the middle, and the footing might be tough as these two teams who like to power the ball have had very great difficulty getting off the snap count with their offenses.
But Don, I tell you, the Houston Oilers defensive line standing up, absolutely standing up the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns. There's no holes there for the running backs to run.
Biner has run the ball 4 times for Cleveland. He's gained just 8 yards. Number 44. Big loss for Cleveland as you see the plays on Don Strock's wrist. Kevin Mack, who's been to the Pro Bowl twice in 3 previous NFL seasons for Cleveland, is out.
Eugene Seal is in the ball game. That generally means all-out blitz.
5'8", 245 pounds. Eugene Seal as Strock stands in, throws a strike, but it's lost. Tennell, the tight end from UCLA, couldn't get his hands on the ball. Very highly regarded replacement player who stuck with the Browns when the strike was over. There's Eugene Seal, who was back in pass coverage. That'll bring up 3rd down now for Cleveland.
He tricked him. Eugene Seal, an excellent special teams player. Here's Don Strock. Now he appears to know this play on his left arm. You can see all the plays. Not a good start. That plastic cover there has the entire offense of the Cleveland Browns. About 90 plays on it.
Strock is a 56% career passer.
Here they come, Don. Here they come.
And he's 11-6 as a starter as the Oilers show blitz but come with a regular rush. And Strock stands in, throws downfield. He's intercepted again. But Domingo Bryant has his 2nd of the day. He might go the distance. Bryant is in the end zone for an Oiler touchdown. So Don Strock having the worst day of his life on the most important start of his career. A 38-yard return by Domingo Bryant. And the Houston Oilers are really laying it to Cleveland early with their defense.
Don, I don't think Don Strock did a very good job get into the ball game. It's Don Strock or
bust.
Or it's the single wing.
They have another quarterback active, Steve Sladen, a rookie from Duke, a 12th round draft choice, who's played not at all. This is in truth a playoff game for Cleveland because they're out if they lose, and right now they're down by 10-0 count. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey. Tony Zendejas has put up 4 points today, a 39-yard field goal, the extra point after Domingo Bryant just ran back his second interception of the day, this one for a touchdown. And the underdog Oilers lead the Browns, a team that must win today to get to the playoffs, 10-0. Short kick, up back, picks it up. William Dean Perry, that's the little brother, if you can call 280 pounds little, of the refrigerator Perry of Chicago Bear fame.
Now, Don, if you're wondering what's happened, let's identify some players. This is Sean Jones. This is the outside linebacker, Robert Lyles. This is Domingo Bryant. As they start to move, you'll see Jones go out. You'll see Meads go out. It gives a false read, and Domingo Bryant goes back in zone. Don Strock doesn't expect him there and throws the ball right into coverage. The Houston Oilers are doing an excellent job of disguising those coverages, giving Don Strock false reads, and the safety sitting back there just watching the quarterback's eyes to pick it off.
And as Glanville says, Crump, you're never going to see the same defense in front from us twice. The defense changes every play. They want to give the offense everything they can to contend with. As Strock swings out a pass now. Screen to Patino. A blocker's in front, and he's ahead for maybe a first down. He is close to the 43-yard line where he had to go. The Indianapolis Colts, if Cleveland should lose today, could win their way into the wild card game. They play at Houston if they continue to lead and beat Buffalo. Pat Leahy just kicked a field goal in the Battle of New York, and the Jets lead the Giants. Miami, coming from 7 behind at Pittsburgh, now leads 10-7.
You know, the responsibility now of Marty Schottenheimer is to reestablish some confidence in Don Strock. Screens are a good idea because he's their guy all day long.
Don Strock intercepted 3 times already today in the first quarter. 4:37 to play in it. It's 10-0 Houston as Feiner on a first down carry gets the ball close to the 48-yard line. Outside backer Robert Lyles, a very fast linebacker from TCU, made the stop. Lyles, number 93, was a running back 2 years for the Horned Frogs.
Lyles was the guy who nicknamed the Astrodome the House of Pain after a martial arts school in Michigan. Absolutely. He is one of the absolute stone crazies you'll find in this game. The House of Ice has not bothered Houston to this point.
Not at all. They seem to enjoy it. Well, they might. The 10-0 first quarter lead on the favored Browns. Strock goes to the run. Herman Fontenot does not have a great deal of size. He's quick and fast. But so are those Oiler linebackers, as Lyles and Al Smith, 2 of the backers, got him.
Now here's the problem that Cleveland has suffered all year. Without Kevin Mack, they really do not have a great deal of outside speed. Herman Fontenot in the backfield is the ball carrier, as you watch Robert Lyles. But Fontenot is really a wide receiver playing back there. I'm rather surprised we've yet to see Manoah as a lead blocker and Feiner as a ball carrier, because if they continue to try to throw the ball all day long against Houston, they're going to get killed.
Third down comes up now for the Cleveland Browns. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Blitz.
Rock with a quick throw and a connection for a first down. And that time the Cleveland offense works nicely as Clarence Weathers, running the slant pattern, gets the lead throw from Strock for the first down. So far there's not a lot of noise in that dog pound.
No barking. Houston that time came with the blitz. Donaldson from right up the middle. You see 31. Strock does a good job. Weathers looks back and he's able to get it off quickly. And that basically is the same play earlier that resulted in an interception.
Ball is positioned at the 43-yard line of Houston. Chill factors 8 degrees below zero. At kickoff time, it'll be dropping here on the shores of Lake Erie as winter has come full force to northern Ohio, and the Cleveland Browns have fallen behind 10-0 in the first quarter, a game that Cleveland must win. Ernest Feiner carries the ball. He goes right into Robert Lyles, who made yet another stop, his 5th of this game.
Whoa. Not much. Not much.
No risk offense on the run game, but the pass offense of the Cleveland Browns has been high risk. 3 interceptions of Don Strock in the first quarter. The wind starting up now, and it can get ugly. Second down arises. Second down, a long 7. Fontenot. Not big enough to break tackles, but quick enough to shoot the gap if there's one there. And he gets ahead for maybe 3 yards down to the 36-yard line. The second-year linebacker Al Smith made the stop along with Pro Bowl defensive end Ray Childress, number 79. So now a very big down comes up front for the Cleveland Browns, who have to keep this drive going. Down 10-0, third down and a long 3 coming up.
Well, the most important thing they have to do is not turn the ball over here. They've had 3 drives, 3 interceptions. And I think Schottenheimer would be happy if they just don't turn the ball over here. He's almost in a situation where he's got to go for it on 4th down.
Nobody's been able to run today. The Oiler defense has set the tone here, and here's markers down all over. A throw downfield. It hits Brian Brenner right in the face mask as the play was whistled dead before the snap on motion.
Yeah, that's against Houston.
Start number 63.
Whoops.
Offense. 5 yards.
Cody Risen.
Still third down.
Now, I thought that was against the Houston Oilers. There was a lot of jumping at the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of people moving there. We can't really see Cody Risen, but he's the one that gets the flag thrown on him. He's the right tackle, number 63. Look at him right here in the corner. He's the one that apparently moves early and is caught. Yeah, he moves early, and that prompts everybody to jump. So now, big down again for Cleveland.
They're coming up, and the Browns need 9 as they set in the shotgun. McNeil flanks to the lower portion of your screen. Strock trying to elude the rush. He cannot, and Don Strock, not highly mobile, is sacked back at the 47-yard line. And Johnny Meade, the blitzer from Nicholls State, came a hunting again, and this time he got the quarterback.
From behind the offense, not good enough protection. Meads jumps inside of Paul Farron, and he's right there in the quarterback's face. You can see all of the sacks that this team has gotten, and a great deal of it comes from stunts and games and faking the blitz and everything else. Sometimes you just have a player that comes scot-free. That time, bad job by Paul Farron as the first quarter ends.
And the Oilers lead at 10-0 as Don Strock in the first quarter was intercepted 3 times, 1 run back for a touchdown, and he was sacked once. 10-0 lead over the favored Browns, and Don Strock-Trump, a 15-year veteran, so far has looked like a rookie.
Yeah, you're right. I think the Houston Oilers have done a great job of giving him false reads. He knows the responsibility that he has on his shoulders today. Interesting, Marty Schottenheimer told us on Thursday he threw the ball very, very well in practice, and it's not that he's throwing the ball poorly. It's that he's misreading the defense, which Don Strock has not ever been accused of. He's normally a very smart quarterback. He's normally a quarterback who makes the right read. But today in that first quarter, Houston had his number.
Well, he's got a lot of time to get it back as we are now set to start the second quarter. And back to punt is Max Runager of Cleveland. He's been an experienced big game punter. He's punted in 2 Super Bowls, once for the Eagles and once for the 49ers. Big rush against him. He gets it away. Curtis Duncan lets it roll. It'll take a Cleveland hop as it goes inside the 10-yard line. It'll roll dead right about at the 9. Interesting developments. The Colts continue to lead Buffalo 3-0. The Jets, an underdog, leading the Giants. But Dallas is leading Philadelphia as the Giants and the Eagles are contending for the NFC Eastern title. New Orleans up on Atlanta. Tampa Bay has now extended its lead over Detroit to 14-0. Testaverde's thrown for a touchdown.
Don, this is an absolute key series of downs now for the Cleveland Browns. They've got the Houston Oilers defense down inside the 10. They've got to get the ball back so the offense of the Cleveland Browns has the short field to work with.
John Timer says we've got some of the toughest people in the NFL playing defense, and they dig in now. Here's the snap. Rozier cutting back has a problem. Mike Rozier on a cutback move lost his footing on this frozen field, and the conditions will only get worse as the temperature drops and the wind continues to blow. First quarter numbers. Cleveland had a lot of possession, but so what? More yards. Again, so what? 39-yard interception return by Domingo Bryant was the biggest play of this game. Domingo Bryant, an extra defensive back on passing situations, has 2 interceptions today. Second down and just over 10 for Houston as Gibbons goes in motion. Mike Rozier is cut down at about the 11-yard line. Alan Pinkett in the game to run that time as Pinkett gets the ball to the 12-yard line, and that'll bring up third down. 3rd and 8.
First key down now that the Houston Oilers have faced on offense. They do not want to give the Cleveland Browns half a field to work with. In games where the wind is blowing and the field is bad, field position is key.
Browns have turned it over 3 times. You can be sure the Oilers will not have a turnover-free game. It's going to go both ways in this weather and this hitting. Both teams with defenses loaded with knockout hitters. Wing pass. It goes to Rozier, and he breaks one tackle, and Rozier takes it out to the 20-yard line. And on a 3rd down and 7 play, the Houston Oilers convert with the screen to Mike Rozier.
Don, I think the best linebacker in the AFC is Clay Matthews, 57. He drops back, recognizes the screen. That's brother Bruce. Just gets a hand on him. Rozier breaks the tackle, leans forward to get the first down. There you see younger brother Bruce, 74. Clay, 57, will play in the Pro Bowl. First time they've been on any team together.
Landville says of Clay Matthews, when you look at the films of Cleveland, he just jumps out at you. There can't be a better outside backer in this conference. Lorenzo White is in the game now. Lorenzo White, the rookie runner from Michigan State, doesn't get much as he gets to the 20-yard line. On a first down carry, he got nothing at all. Mike Junkin made the hit. Glanville said before the game, Trump, that he was probably going to go to Lorenzo White because he's a cold weather runner, and also he has huge feet, which you need in a frozen field.
Well, watch the sweep coming this way. Mike Junkin, 54. Ernest Gibbons gets in front of him. Midfield 31 in there to help. Mike Johnson, 59. Junkin, the first-round draft pick this year, in there replacing Eddie Johnson.
Lorenzo White has a size 14.5 triple E shoe. So he's well grounded on this tough terrain. Stick, loose ball. Browns might have it. Michael Dean Perry's going in, and the Cleveland Brown defense scores a touchdown.
Moon is still down, Don.
Dave Grayson hit him with an all-out blitz. So the Cleveland defense rises up and strikes as the Oiler defense did earlier with the interception return for a touchdown. We talked about knockout hitters on both teams, and that was the knockout punch by Dave Grayson on quarterback Warren Moon. 14-yard fumble return for a touchdown by rookie Michael Dean Perry.
Somebody totally missed Dave Grayson. Now your offensive line comes from the inside out. The hit will come from right over here. Somebody misses Grayson completely. Your offensive line should count 1, 2, 3. Somebody's got to get on Grayson. Junkin comes from the outside. Grayson is totally untouched, and he hits Warren Moon right in the sternum. That is a busted offensive lineman's assignment. Ends up in 6 points, and the Browns are quickly back in the game.
And 280-pound Michael Dean Perry knows what to do with the ball. When he gets it into the end zone, he goes.
I like it. I like it. Total eclipse of the moon.
He got blistered by Dave Grayson.
Well, they certainly got to straighten out the blocking assignment so that that doesn't happen again, or Cleveland's going to come with it again and come with it often. The report is he'll be back in.
So now momentum has changed dramatically here in cold Cleveland, Ohio, and the 80,000 that jam Cleveland Stadium are up and jumping, and the dogs are barking as Lorenzo White, Spencer Tillman, and Alan Pinkett are back. Alan Pinkett lets it hop into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20. Couple of bucks with their antlers locked there, going for the face mask. As we have 11:37 to play in the first half.
That may be a new handshake in the NFL. You never know.
Those strange fraternities.
Yes.
Dallas up on Philadelphia still 7-0 in the second quarter. The Jets continue to lead the favored Giants.
Moon back.
Good to see Warren Moon back and set to go. Glanville calls him an analytical student of the game. He might check off at the line of scrimmage more than any quarterback in football. He's got some chest protection on there now.
Well, you certainly expect Cleveland to be blitzing a lot now.
Dogs smell blood at this point. They'll be going for Moon again. First down as he checks off. He's got 2 seconds to get the snap, and he does it just in time. Running with the ball, but not very far, is Alonzo Highsmith. On a first down carry, he may have gotten a yard. Knocked down by Mike Junkin, an inside linebacker, and by 59, Eddie Johnson. Or by Mike Johnson. Eddie Johnson not in the game yet. There's been some question over whether Eddie should be starting ahead of Mike Junkin. Junkin getting the starting call, a former #1 draft choice out of Duke.
Defensive coordinator now, Dave Adolph of Cleveland's found something that's worked. Apply it again and see if Houston can pick it up again. Certainly a passing down here, 2nd and 9.
From the shotgun on 2 and 8. 2nd down and 8. Hard throw, and Ernest Given runs in the open field and bounces off tacklers. And this extraordinary little player from Louisville is all the way downfield across midfield to the 48-yard line. A 31-yard gain on the play.
Frank Minifield, the man in coverage. You can see 81 is out there with Dave Grayson, gets by him. This is zoned by the Cleveland Browns. Givens gets inside 22, Felix Wright. Junkin makes a shot at it. Huge play for the Houston Oilers. Moon comes in. Last time he attempted to pass, he gets hammered. Comes right back in there for a 31-yard pickup.
You see Givens having a big day. Has 56 catches for the season, 5 for touchdowns. Moon's throwing well, 4 of 6 for 62 yards. And ready to put it up on first down. Throw, what a catch by Drew Hill. A phenomenal play by another undersized overachiever, another 5'9" wideout, Drew Hill, with a 14-yard gain.
Drew Hill, with his 3rd straight 1,000-yard receiving season, finally makes a trip to the Pro Bowl. Unbelievable concentration. Felix Wright led up on him there to avoid interference, but tough catch to make down the middle, up high. He goes and gets it.
And as you know, Trump, he was one of the all-time bargains. The Oilers acquired him from the Rams, Drew Hill, for a 7th-round draft choice. First down throw, and Warren Moon, as he did so many bitter cold days in Edmonton, Alberta, finds the mark. Throwing downfield, this time he goes again to Drew Hill. And Hill is ahead to the 24-yard line of Cleveland. An 8-yard gain on the play.
And you can see that this weather and the field is having no effect on the Houston Oilers whatsoever. Their only mistake was a pass protection mistake, which has nothing to do with the weather. This is a football team that has fun. Houston Oilers love to play, and Jerry Glanville loves to coach, and they like these situations.
Jerry's kids, they call them. There it is. 2nd down and just under 2 yards. Moon looking to pitch it up. Free ball on the field.
Incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's a forward pass. That's right, even though it's underhand. Going to Ernest Givens.
Incomplete forward pass. 3rd down.
Browns went for it, dug the head.
Forward pass.
Incomplete forward pass. So that brings up 3rd down and 2.
This is simply a forward pass, whether you throw it overhand or underhand. You see Givens, 81, coming in motion. Michael Dean Perry, 92, the man there. But it's just an incomplete pass. He's saying, what's going on? That's a good day in this weather.
And Warren Moon having a good day, while his counterpart Don Strock has been intercepted 3 times already in the first quarter. 1 return for a touchdown. Rozier banging at tacklers, but the Browns come a hit and get him inside the 30. Very close to the first down, however. Eddie Johnson, 51, was on the stop.
Don, to this point, I think the defensive game plan of the Cleveland Browns, even though they trail 10-7, is working. What they wanted to do is make sure the Houston Oilers could not run the football, force them to throw. Unfortunately, the coverage for the Cleveland Browns defensive backs have not matched the run defense of Cleveland, and that's why Houston's going down the field, and it appears they got another first down.
Very balanced offense for the Oilers.
Even in the weather, 9 rushes, 9 passes. And no turnovers, which is the, I take that back, 1 turnover, which produced the only points for Cleveland.
Well, we talked to Moon yesterday. We asked him the coldest temperature he ever played in. He said -27 in Edmonton. That was without the wind chill.
There's the dog pound.
So what was the wind chill? He said we didn't want to know.
I don't think they even register it in Canada. It's too bright.
First down and 10 now for the Houston Oilers, who lead this game 10-7 with 7:55 to play in the first half. Big league hits put on at the 11-yard line. Ernest Givens is down.
He's out. He's all right.
Mark Harper, who is starting for All-Pro Hanford Dixon, who's out with a quadricep injury, made the stick, number 23.
Harper had the coverage. You see 23 on Ernest Givens. Felix Wright playing that free safety. This is in a simple in pattern. It's man-to-man. That means you got a free safety, and this is his job.
2 of them got him.
Make the
Felix
receiver
Wright
pay. He's still down, but a tough kid.
Now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live.
All right, Don, as we watch this Jim Kelly pass fall incomplete on 3rd down, we'll tell you that in the climate-controlled atmosphere of the Hoosier Dome, the Colts are stopping the Bills. Eric Dickerson has 62 yards rushing for Indy, and on a 52-yard Dean Biasucci field goal in the first quarter, the Colts lead the Bills 3-0.
Thank you, Bob. Not climate controlled here in Cleveland. It was -8 wind chill at kickoff, 22 degrees temperature with the winds bringing it lower. And it hasn't got any warmer. The sun was out earlier. Now gray overcast skies. The lights have been on. And Ernest Givens is up and okay after he was hit by 2 men. Harper got him first, then Wright. Felix Wright put on that knockout stick. So Givens goes out, and Haywood Jeffries, a former #1 draft choice from North Carolina State, is in the lineup. See the Browns that last play illustrating why they're #1 in the American Conference in pass D. Alan Pinkett's in the backfield. Line next to Warren Moon in the shotgun. 2nd down and 10. Pinkett, Notre Dame's all-time leading rusher, loses 3 yards.
Again, the run defense excellent for Cleveland. They're doing the job. But when it comes to the pass defense, it's not working. Now, Pinkett has no place to go here. He sees the middles all messed up. Harper, 23 there. People all over the place. 95, Marlon Jones. But this is where the Houston Oilers have been able to convert it. 3rd down and long. They're still getting the ball down the field by the pass.
Warren Moon has passed very effectively. We'll see if he can now. On 3rd down and 12, he'll be pitching from the shotgun. Looks up the middle, fires, it's incomplete. Coming off the flank was Leonard Harris, but he couldn't get to the ball. And so the Oilers send out their field goal kicker, Zendejas, who's tried one and hit it from 39 yards. To open the scoring today, right now it's a 10-7 game. Houston in the lead, Oilers with 10 first quarter points, took a 10-0 lead. Browns came back on a hit by Grayson that freed the ball from Moon, and it was picked up by Michael Dean Perry, Williams' little brother. And he ran it in 12 yards for Cleveland's touchdown. This is a 42-yard attempt. Winds are swirling, but they're not heavy. And Zendejas, a warm weather kicker, doing very well in the cold at Cleveland, drills it from 42. And the Oilers challenge now extend their lead to 13-7, and they'll kick off in a moment. And for Dixon, without the helmet on, a first-team All-Pro cornerback the last 2 years, and a Pro Bowl player again this year, out with a quadricep injury. Warren Moon has been attacking that area. Harper's in to replace him as Zendejas, who just hit his second field goal, kicks off short. Patno on a run from his 20. Man, these people pop as the ball is out to about the 28.
Hey, let me tell you, this Houston Oilers football team with their special teams are extraordinary. Jets extend their lead over the Giants.
Now Philadelphia comes back. They would take the division if they win at Dallas and the Giants lose to the Jets. This is the Jets playoff game. They try for a winning record. Miami and Pittsburgh scoring in the cold at Three River Stadium. Tampa Bay continues to lead Detroit. Usually get a higher draft pick. First and 10 for Strock and the Browns, who are down by 6. Biner, they just can't get off the ball trump. Nobody's firing out. They're not able to as Richard Byrd moved quickly. John Grimsby, 59, inside linebacker, made the stop.
They're getting no movement on that line. Here's Fontenot, 28. He's trying to block on Johnny Meads. That's kind of a fall down. But if you can't run the ball on a day like today, you are in deep trouble. Cleveland Browns can't rely on their defense to score all the points. Browns have to generate some kind of offense, and they can't be doing it with 2nd down and 10s and 3rd down and 9s.
Hoghead gets like a rock on a day like this. Tough to catch those hard thrown balls as Don Strock is a tough passer and a have to throw now. 2nd and 10 results in a 4-yard loss. Fontenot has been able to do nothing against this Houston defense. Richard Byrd, the nose tackle from Southern Mississippi, made the play.
And he's beating Rakosi, the center. Greg Rakosi is, there's Byrd right there. They are controlling the line of scrimmage. Browns now 11 carries, 16 yards.
A lot of people, Trump, feel the biggest shortcoming in the Cleveland offense is that Rakosi's not yet ready to play as well as he's going to Sunday. He's going to be a good one, but he's not as good as Mike Babb, who the Browns traded to New England. Strock on 3rd down, throws downfield. He's not close to a receiver. He was close to a defender, though, for the Houston Oilers. Ryan Brennan was about 5 yards beyond the ball. Bostic was the closest to it.
You just mentioned Greg Rakosi, the center. You see the outside linebacker, Robert Lyles, right there. There's a spin move by Sean Jones. And Rakosi, along with Larry Williams, good job in double teaming, even though Jones still gets to Don Strock.
Curtis Duncan's back now for the Oilers, and he could give them very good field position depending on this punt by Runniger of the Browns with 5:07 to play first half. High punt, well hit. Duncan was stuck before the ball got there by Harper. A poorly timed strike, and that'll cost the Browns. Don Strock so far in the game has thrown the ball 9 times, has completed 3 to the Cleveland players and 3 to the Oilers.
This is being a little overzealous here. You see the receiver sitting there waiting for it. Harper puts his head down. That's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That's 15 yards. Harper was the man who hit him.
Interference with the opportunity to make a fair catch. 23, 15 yards, first down.
Not that bad a penalty for the foul.
He put his head down, and that was his mistake.
So another Oiler is at 10-2, and
We're going to try a field goal, but
Art Modell next to us, the Cleveland owner, is just telling one of his associates to announce that anybody caught throwing a snowball is out of this ballpark immediately. He's out cold, in the cold.
It looks like his eyes were open and his.
Man.
Look at there. Look at that fool. Can you believe that? Throwing a snowball down at a guy injured on the field.
Most of the snowballs have been directed at the Oilers. These Oilers they don't back off either. After they went out in front 10-0, some of those Oilers were down on the subsequent kickoff team, holding a hand to their ear like, come on, let's hear the barking now.
Well, if there is one saving grace, place to get hurt is at a football stadium. Art just made the announcement that you'll be thrown out if you throw a snowball. I say if you're going to get hurt at a football game. They have x-ray machines here. They have EMT units. They've got doctors on both sides of the field. Us common folk not used to contact like that.
Game clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first half. The Houston Oilers, the underdog, who are playing for home field advantage in the American Conference in the wild card game, are leading 13-7. At halftime at Indianapolis, the Bills on that touchdown pass by Kelly to Reed have come from behind and lead the Colts 7-3. The Jets continue to lead the Giants 13-0. The Eagles with a 3-point lead at Dallas. The Eagles could be in position to win the NFC East. And those games not of significance from a playoff standpoint, although New Orleans could get in, although they're still a long shot. They're still alive, but a long shot in the NFC as a wild card team. Now the Houston doctors, and they're waving out for a stretcher. Doctor, that man waving his hand with the turtleneck sweater on, is one of the physicians from the Houston Oilers. Coming up is college football's national championship weekend on NBC Sports. To lead off the big day, Syracuse meets LSU in the Hall of Fame Bowl. Then the Fiesta Bowl features a battle of the nation's only unbeaten teams when #1 Notre Dame takes on #3 West Virginia. And the day concludes with the primetime extravaganza of the Orange Bowl, when #2 Miami of Florida takes on the 5th-ranked Huskers of Nebraska. Championship Monday, numbers 1, 2, and 3 are only on NBC.
Well, I certainly hope the best for that young man that's hurt down there on the sideline. But do you remember a movie that was based here in Cleveland Municipal Stadium? A movie called The Fortune Cookie. Starred Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau. You know, they're bringing the stretcher out for this young man. Yesterday, when the Houston Oilers got to Cleveland Municipal Stadium, John Grimsley.
Well, he likes it. John Grimsley's just a few miles away from Canton, Ohio. This isn't new to him. It is to Bruce Matthau. 39 and 42 yards. This is a 36-yarder. Brent Peace is the holder, and he and the snapper are just as important as the ball is on the way and good again. So the Houston Oilers now up their lead to 16-7, a 9-point margin with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left to play. Glanville said the Oilers really lost a head of steam when they learned that the Bengals had won the division yesterday, coming from behind.
They sat and watched Cincinnati win yesterday, and it really drained them a great deal. But they have played remarkably well today in this first half.
Most points by Houston Oilers since George Blanda a long time ago. Tony Zendejas really hit slow start this year. 19 for 31 coming into this game for the season, but he's 3 for 3 today. He's gotten hot in the recent weeks. So now the Oilers will kick off yet again with 2 minutes and 16 seconds to play in the first half. Their lead up to 16-7. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Larry Cirillo. Our director, Ted Nathanson. The coordinating producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. As the Browns and the Oilers teeing it up for the second time this season. If Cleveland can come back to win, they would play a third time in the wild card game here in Cleveland next Saturday. Zendejas hits it in the cold down to the 9-yard line, and Fontenot runs back another one for Cleveland. Out to the 25-yard line where it's 1st and 10.
These special teams of the Houston Oilers, often the group that sets the emotion for the game. It's referred to by their Coach has hit the beach. Eugene Seal is the star of these special teams.
Terrific.
They award an Army helmet.
They were wearing it on the field before the game.
They take a lap. It is an honor that Houston Oilers players, starting players, are asking the special teams coach, Richard Smith, how do I get on these special teams? I want that helmet.
Eugene Seal's the guy you got to root for. He was picked up last year. He was working construction down in Texas. Picked up as a replacement player. He's just sensational. The replacement team. He's been the same for the regular team. His teammates all say he should be in the Pro Bowl as the special teams player. As the game winds down to the 2-minute warning. And the Cleveland Browns again go to the run, and again, and not for very much, as the Oilers cold but happy at this point in the game. In command at this point, leading 16-7. As you know, they call the Astrodome the House of Pain. Some people refer to this, Trump, as the House of Frozen Rain, as we've got a lot of it around the field.
Houston certainly not convinced. Playing very well.
They really are.
Strzok has 6 completions. 3 for him, 3 for them. That's the difference in the game.
One TD throw from that standpoint, but it was to Domingo Bryant, who plays for the Oilers. Don Strzok has won a lot of games in his career. He's 11-6 as a starter, but he's come off the bench so many times in his 15 years to win games. He almost won one Monday night against the Dolphins. It's 7-11, 2 for touchdowns. Throw and a catch. Downfield to Langhorne, very close to a first down.
2-minute offense. They need points here for a little psychological boost down, and they need points bad.
Well, Strzok will be pitching for the final minute 40 to go in the first half. The Oilers in the lead. 16-7. Here's a long ball thrown. A man is open, but Slaughter drops the ball. An excellent throw by Don Strzok. He really put some pop on that throw and had it right on the hands of Webster Slaughter, who lost it on this cold day.
Slaughter, bottom of the screen, runs the little in. Patrick Allen is the man in coverage. But just after he catches it, there you see the bobble. And then he sees Jeff Donaldson.
Might have been a footstep bobble. That Jeff Donaldson will pop you. He is a tremendous safety, a free safety for the Oilers. Both are safeties. Donaldson and Bostic. Fontenot back in the backfield. He'll be swinging out to catch a pass now on 2nd down and 10. As Strzok takes a look, he goes to Fontenot. He catches at the 41, trying to turn upfield. He's going to go for a first down, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:24 to play. So Fontenot is Strzok's man coming out of the backfield.
Looks like he hit his arm on the yard marker.
We've had a lot of injured troops today.
When he came to the sideline, it appeared that they could not get the yard marker down fast enough, and it appeared that he hit the yard marker. First down, Cleveland. The drive remains alive. Let's see if we can see what happens when he's driven out of bounds. And he lands right on the yard marker. And his elbow, of course.
First down at 10 now from the shotgun, as Don Strzok with 1:24 left on the first half clock. Stands in, Meade's coming on the blitz. Free ball up in the air, and it is almost picked off. It is incomplete at the 49-yard line. Sean Jones, a huge pass rusher, and William Fuller putting the pressure on.
William Fuller got his hand on the ball, and Sean Jones was right in the face of Don Strzok.
Schottenheimer, as he mentioned to us yesterday, Trump, Sean Jones has really changed their whole pass defense. He puts so much consistent pressure on the quarterback.
And you can't double team him.
Huge ex-Raider, born in Kingston, Jamaica. An off-season stockbroker in Southern California, and an excellent pass rusher.
Fumble.
Strzok got it back, but on 2nd down and 10, he lost 3, and that brings up 3rd and 13.
Now, Don, it's interesting. Riccozzi, the center, did not snap the shotgun when he was at Miami. Halfway through this season, they put in the shotgun. He's not snapped it particularly well, but that time it looked like Strzok took his eye off the ball. Snap. You need it right in the center of that quarterback so he can catch it easily and scan the defense.
Mentioned earlier, the Oiler regular Oilers have not won here in Cleveland since 1981. They play here every year. They missed the appearance here last year because of the strike season. The Oiler replacement team did win as a downfield throw is a connection to Clarence Weathers. He's a rather amazing story. Clarence Weathers, his brother was a high draft choice of the Patriots. He came up to visit him and started catching balls on the sideline at a New England practice, and somebody said, this guy's pretty good, let's work him out. Didn't he make the team? His brother's out of the league, and this guy's doing well.
That was Steve Brown in coverage, and that was a well-thrown pass by Don Struck. The Browns can erase a lot of ills in this first half if they get points here, Don.
Struck has moved them nicely now with 68 ticks left in the second quarter. Fontenot, they go to the draw, and they get some big yards as Fontenot's down inside the 25-yard line. Browns quickly get a timeout. They used only 7 seconds.
Well read by the offense there. You can see the defense comes with a lot of extra defensive backs, and there is no middle linebacker. Good blocking up front. First guy that gets to him is Domingo Bryant, and then Fuller comes from the defensive end spot to make the tackle.
Fontenot, an excellent player in the open field. He's not the tackle breaker that Kevin Mack is, who's out of the game with an injury. Fontenot on that draw play just ripped off a 17-yard gain down to the 24-yard line.
It doesn't take a lot for the emotion in a football game to change, and points on this drive at the end of the first half can't help.
At halftime, we'll be going to NFL Live. Frank DeFord will check out the left-handers, the wrong-armers. And the scores and highlights on Week 16. It was interesting going into the final 14 games on the final weekend. 10 of them had playoff implications. Only 4 had no bearing. The injured cameraman earlier is from Erie, Pennsylvania. Mike Gallagher. He was taken to a local hospital where he's reported to be conscious and alert. So we'll hope that Mike's all right. Hardest hit of this day. Well, we thought it was on Warren Moon. It might have been on a cameraman. 61 seconds left in the first half. Cleveland trying to get in the end zone. Out pattern, too much on it. Langhorne couldn't get to the ball.
Trying to throw it over Sean Jones. Jones at about 6'8". That's a hard ball to get over his head.
Bills and Colts now in the third quarter. The Giants scored before halftime, down by 6 to the Jets. And the Eagles holding to a 3-point lead over the Cowboys at halftime at Texas Stadium. Giants and Eagles contending for the NFC Eastern title. Pittsburgh and Miami enjoying the cold apparently in Pittsburgh. Lots of points up there. 37 in the first half. This is the 10th play of the Cleveland drive with 57 seconds left to go in the half. Oilers lead 16-7. Out pattern. Throw and a catch. Langhorne dives out of bounds. Reggie Langhorne run out of bounds by Steve Brown with 51 seconds to play, and the Browns get closer.
Don, one thing Cleveland's done very well in this closing drive in the first half is get patterns open on the sideline, stop the clock, save that last time out as best you possibly can. But of course now Houston is going to realize that too. Weathers comes to the sideline, and it looks like he did something to his arm. He's over there shaking it a little bit. Gerald McNeil comes in the ball game, but you want to try to save that last time out. They got to get the first down. That's the #1 priority here.
Don Strock came out of Virginia Tech as a 5th-round draft choice in Miami in 1973. There are still 2 quarterbacks in that 73 draft in the league. Joe Ferguson the other, as the Browns strike again with 43 seconds left. They're down close now. Clock running. And now we have a timeout signal with 35 seconds left.
Houston takes a timeout. Houston takes a timeout. Big break, Cleveland.
Injured Oiler out there, Trump. Bostic, the safety, shaken up.
The Houston Oilers have gone with the prevent. They've not come with the blitz. They've given up the short yards and hope that the clock eats up the Cleveland Browns before they get down in scoring position. But this by far the best performance of this Cleveland Brown offense in the first half.
Don Strock's passing numbers picking up. Those 3 interceptions still haunting him, though, all in the first quarter. 1 return for a touchdown.
This is a key play here. This first down play. It's 1st and goal just inside the 10. Don, I think you almost have to give it a couple of 3 shots in the end zone. But remember, Don Strock already has 3 interceptions.
Shotgun set with 35 seconds to play. 1st and goal for the Cleveland Browns, who trail 16-7. Another throw and a catch and out of bounds inside the 5-yard line is the sure-handed Brian Brennan. As Johnny Meade made the push out of bounds, but Brennan gets it close, and there's still 30 seconds left.
Meade's the linebacker in coverage. He simply runs a drag, gets the yardage he can, and steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Now Ozzie Newsome comes into the ball game. Yet to have a reception, he has a streak of games going here with receptions. Certainly in jeopardy.
At the 6, 2nd down and goal from there, as the Oilers are going to be coming on a blitz. Here it comes, full force. The Browns pick it up nicely, and Strock throws. It's incomplete in the end zone. And that brings up 3rd down and goal for Cleveland with, as you see, 24 seconds to play in the first half.
Now, Donnie, here I think is the problem where Don Strock really has, not knowing this offense that well. He's been here 12 weeks. And when you have only been with an offense for 12 weeks, you get locked on to the primary side of the field. You're not really sure what the other side of the field is doing. Strock was in Miami for 14 years, and in some instances, he must translate Cleveland plays into Miami plays in order to put his mind right as to where the priorities lie.
Probably not an easy thing to do with 80,000 people screaming and the Oiler defense coming at you. 3rd down and goal. Change the play. Timing pattern. Intercepted. It was knocked away. Bostic is on the run, and the Oilers take it back. And they have it at the 45-yard line of Houston. And now a penalty marker comes in, but the ball was knocked free from Strock. He doesn't know what happened.
He's saying his arm was going forward.
Well, we'll be looking at this.
But Bostic came up with it. Houston came with the blitz.
Ball, the way it looked from here.
He was in a hurry here because the 30-second clock was just about to expire. There you see Bostic in the back.
He lost it. Fell out of his hand.
That's an incomplete. That's going to be a fumble recovery. No question about it. That is a fumble recovery. If we can go back to the point where the ball slips out of his hand.
Replay is reviewing the play.
It looked, Trump, like he was not hit, that it just slipped out of his hand.
And the question is, was the arm going forward?
I think he lost it before it went forward.
Arm going forward. No way. That's a fumble.
He just,
when he was taking it up, when he was getting it up there, getting ready to throw.
Bostic actually gets it here in the 1 bounce, I think. I think he slaps it on the ground.
Second pump. You know, I'm not so sure that he didn't hit Ernest Biner's shoulder pad. I do believe the replay is going to have the fumble stand.
The play stands as ruled. It was a fumble by the quarterback. Returned by Houston. Houston then fumbled. We brought the ball back to the spot of the fumble by the 2-minute fumble rule. First down, Houston.
So this nightmare by the lake continues for Don Strock. Intercepted 3 times, and then with his team in almost point-blank range to at least get a field goal. They had a 3rd down and goal coming up from the 6. He loses the handle and the ball, and the Oilers get yet a 4th turnover from Strock.
And I'll tell you what, Marty Schottenheimer's got a real sales job to do in his football team at halftime. The 1 turnover by the Oilers produced 7 points for the Cleveland Browns, the only points of the day. He's got to really get out his Gipper speech today.
turn of events as this opportunistic Oiler defense pounces again. Warren Moon's going to go for some before it's over. Alan Pinkett runs it across the 40. And Pinkett is all the way out to almost midfield. He got a first down with 2 seconds left, and that'll do it. Now the Oilers call a timeout. Moon might let her rip deep.
Why not? Now Jerry's saying, no, just run the piggy tail. Snap the ball and get it down, and let's go in at halftime.
Take our winnings to the locker room. A 16-7 lead, which was almost a 16-14 lead. NFL Live coming up at halftime. 2 seconds to go. Oilers jumped first. They scored on a 39-yard field goal by Zendejas. Followed that with a Domingo Bryant interception of Don Strock returned for a touchdown, and it was 10-0 in the first quarter. Houston. Browns came back when William Dean Perry scored Cleveland's only touchdown. The defense scoring the 2 touchdowns in this game so far. Picked up a fumble after a hard hit by Grayson on Warren Moon. Marty Schottenheimer thought turnovers would turn the game, but they thought they'd be his team's way on the home field. Not so. So Warren Moon lead.
Now the #1 priority for the Houston Oilers here is in the early stages of this second half, protect the football. And for the Cleveland Browns, think turnover. They've got to start taking some chances defensively to get the ball and get the ball in a hurry.
Moon, 6'3", 210 pounds, out of the University of Washington. Former Rose Bowl MVP, pitches back. Running hard is Mike Rozier. Not a lot of footing or yards on that carry as on a first down. Rozier gets close to the 27-yard line. Dave Grayson was on the stop along with Michael Dean Perry.
Watch Clay Matthews, the Pro Bowl linebacker. This is one of his greatest strengths. Running down plays or being there to assist on the tackle from behind. You have to account for Clay Matthews in every offensive plan that you design.
Matthews in his 11th year out of Southern California. #1 draft choice of the Cleveland Browns, and he gets better every year, it seems. He's bigger than ever, 245 pounds, and as fast as he's ever been. Rozier gets running yards on a second down and long 8 play. He runs the ball close to the 30. That'll bring up third down and about 6. As maybe Trump, the Oilers are looking to take time off the clock if they can, with a 9-point lead and the weather worsening.
And certainly protect the football. They don't want it thrown up, exposed for an early pickoff to put emotion back on the side of Cleveland. I mean, generally speaking, the stadium is quiet. Houston's got things going pretty much their way. Watch this direct snap now to that up-back Highsmith.
Right, they sometimes go to the blocker. This time they go right to Warren Moon. Throwing on third down, he makes a connection for a first down. As the ball is out to the 41-yard line to Drew Hill. Stephen Braggs was covering on the play as best he could, but not many people can cover Drew Hill, who now has 70 receptions for the season.
Now you got to think, with this lack of pass coverage by the Cleveland Browns today, they really miss Hanford Dixon. Generally speaking, this is a very, very tough defensive backfield. Lots of man-to-man coverage, but I've seen an awful lot of zone today. I don't think Cleveland really likes to play zone. They prefer that man-to-man. Houston's had receivers open all over the field.
Frank Minifield said yesterday he thinks the defenders, particularly in bump and run like Cleveland plays, have the advantage because they can't stutter step the receivers without losing their footing. That has not been the case. First down, the give is to Alonzo Highsmith, who was a key player with Bernie Kosar of the Browns and that national championship team at Miami of Florida.
We just featured Clay Matthews. How about little brother Bruce? Does a good job. That's called a double and rub. You help on the nose tackle, 79 Golick, bounce off, and get a little block on Junkin.
Darrell Sims, Bob Golick, and Kyle Hairston across the defensive front of Cleveland. Warren Moon sets his team now. Second down and 7. Give it just a bit. Here is the throw downfield to Ernest Givens, indeed, and he's down to the 42-yard line. That's picked up And a delivery right over the middle for 15 yards as Warren Moon, poised and strong of arm, continues to move the ball in the bad weather against Cleveland.
On whatever the Miami Dolphins did to this Cleveland Browns pass defense last Monday night in Miami, I think the Houston Oilers have taken a page from Don Shula's playbook. There are receivers open. There's time for the quarterback to throw. And Warren Moon's had no problems finding those guys.
Hill and Gibbons are small but so quick, running those crossing patterns. They just dart away from the coverage, and Moon is right there. Now they go back to the run, and Rozier powers his way on a first down carry inside the Cleveland 40-yard line and down to the 38. Tackle on the play made by Michael Dean Perry and by Bob Golick.
One of the things that you can certainly pick out is this offensive line of the Houston Oilers really controlling this line of scrimmage. And this time Bruce Matthews does an excellent job with a little help from Steinkühler. Michael Dean Perry, 92. Doesn't quite finish the block, but gets him off the line of scrimmage, and Rozier picks up needed yards.
Second down, they need 7. Here's the give. It's Rozier again, running hard to the 35-yard line. And that'll bring up third down and 4 as Mike Johnson, inside backer 59, made the stop. And Rozier, who just went over 1,000 yards for the first time in his NFL career,
may not know
getting
it.
up. Yeah.
They're going to have to tell him later.
5'10", 200 pounds, and he hits like a rocket. That time he got dinged, but usually you don't hit Rozier, he hits you. With 10:56 to play in the third quarter, the Oilers feeling good about things, and well, they should, leading 16-7.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence, become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Hey, neighbor, got a favor to ask of you. Got to write it now. I know you can't come through, 'cause we rock pretty steady. We like moving around, and the silver bullet won't slow you down. So come on in the Coors Light. It's the right beer now. Right now you're drinking light, so keep drinking it right. Come on in the Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
It's the trestle of terror, ladies and gentlemen. Chevy versus Ford, going over 8-inch high landmines in a test of 4x4 ground clearance. The bullseye Chevy clears the mines front and rear. The Ford clears up front, but it's too low in back. In four-wheel drive ground clearance, Chevy beats Ford. No wonder, when it comes to pickups, America's having a change of heart.
The heartbeat of America. That's the day Chevy truck.
Today's game is brought to you by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with a silver bullet. It's the right beer now. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. And by the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start.
Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Cleveland Stadium. Snowfall has picked up. Chill factor well below 0, but the Houston Oilers functioning very well in their first cold weather game in 3 years. Moon stands in. They're taking care. Look at that throw down the field to Alonzo Highsmith. And he's down to the 7-yard line. Lost the ball, but got it back.
Down on contact. The official was motioning wildly. The ball was hit on the ground.
The ruling is down by contact. The whistle blew. First down.
What a beautiful throw, and on the dead run, Highsmith takes it.
Felix Wright makes the hit. The ground cannot cause a fumble. And when he hits, the ball pops loose on Warren Moon. Look here. Highsmith is about the 3rd receiver in the progression. You see, flat-footed, he throws it there late. Mike Johnson, 59 in coverage. Man, this has been one of their best performances of the season. 2 weeks in a row now. Last week against Cincinnati, today against Cleveland.
28-yard gain. throw off the hands of his intended receiver, Drew Hill, on a slant goalpost pattern. The ball comes in low and incomplete. That'll bring up third down. Second down from the 7-yard line.
Moon's completed 12 passes on the day, and 7 have been to the wide receivers and 5 have been to the running backs. That last one to Highsmith, a beautiful job by Warren Moon. Waited, looked around. Now the 10th play of this drive, the opening drive of the second half. I'm telling you, the Houston Oilers are playing the best football of any team in the AFC at this point, going into the playoffs. This is a sensational performance by Houston.
Warren Moon says the QB has to be like a good point guard in basketball and disperse the ball to everybody. He's been doing that today, this time a pitchback to Alan Pinkett is shut down. Mike Junkin, number 54, came in to make the pop.
This Houston offense has taken the emotion out of the defense. Oh.
The Giants are a wild card team in the National Conference, even if they lose, but they would not win the division if Philadelphia continues and beats Dallas today. Third down and goal from the 8-yard line. Timing pattern into the end zone, and Haywood Jeffries comes down with the ball. There's a marker down in the end zone, away from where the ball was caught. Could be an interference call. Jeffries goes up for a timed throw by Warren Moon and comes down with the ball, but now we have to see what the penalty is. Looks like it's going to go for 6 for Houston.
They're certainly conferring. Now it's interesting, as Haywood Jeffries, you get Drew Hill and Ernest Givens. Here's the call.
The yellow flag that was down in the field came from the stands. 6 points.
You're joking. Jeffries' first NFL touchdown, and Givens and Hill are about 5'9". You bring in Jeffries, he's about 6'2", 6'2.5", and he goes over Will Hill on a pass that's intentionally underthrown to make the catch.
I'll tell you though, Trump, I'd rather get hit by a yellow flag in the stands than a snowball. And those are coming down now as Zendejas tries the point after. He's had a big game, Tony Zendejas, and so have the Oilers, as they have now taken command of this game 23-7.
Imagination, creation, application. At GTE, we know the power of people. At GTE, that power becomes an operator's voice when you need it most. Your company's telecommunications system. A nightlight for your child. One-to-one, person-to-person. GTE to you. It's the power of the human touch. And at GTE, the power is on.
Up to $1,000 cash back on selected new Chevy cars. Up to $1,900 savings on preferred equipment groups of options on selected new Chevy trucks. No payments for 90 days if you finance your purchase through GMAC by December 31st. And low GMAC Smart Lease payments. When Chevy goes out to put you in a new Chevy car or truck by the end of the year, Chevy goes all out. Don't miss out.
Today, more and more people are drinking light beer. And the light beer they're drinking more of is Coors Light. Why? It's easy drinking. Got just the right balance of smoothness and drinkability. And best of all, the Silver Bullet won't slow you down. Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. For all the right reasons, it's the right beer now.
Relive the greatest moments of the World Professional Figure Skating Championships.
With Scott Hamilton,
Kitty and Peter Carruthers,
Robin Cousins,
the Protopopoffs,
and Dorothy Hamill.
A Christmas Day special for the entire family.
With season's greetings from NBC Sports.
Haywood Jeffries in the end zone with his first touchdown in the NFL, and that puts the game perhaps out of reach in this weather for the Cleveland Browns. 23-7 is the count in favor of the Oilers. And the way things are developing today, the Buffalo Bills have now extended their lead over the Colts to 14-3 in the fourth quarter. The Patriots would go to Houston. So there's some whooping and hollering in Boston right now with good reason. Raymond Berry said yesterday after they lost, I'd take our situation over being out of it. We still have a chance.
It also means that Buffalo is home throughout the playoffs. They have the home field advantage.
Gerald McNeil and Glenn Young. I'll tell you, the one team that could beat Buffalo up there is New England.
I like Houston up there, too.
Well, after this performance, Glenn Young comes down the field with the ball and gets out to the 37-yard line.
Another pushing and shoving match. Very much goes in this AFC Central.
Jerry's kids mixing it up here. The AFC playoff picture. Where this one has gone, it's almost not settled after the season's over.
Buffalo and Cincinnati definitely in. Houston wins because of the loss yesterday by New England. Houston is in. Winner of the West will go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Cleveland will host either New England or Indianapolis. As it stands now, New England.
The Western winner is a long shot at Cincinnati, in my humble opinion.
I think most people would agree with you.
Go downfield, and making the reception very nicely as he dances out of bounds is Webster Slaughter at the 49-yard line. 14-yard gain on the play. Don Strock trying to rally his team. He had them close at the end of the first half, lost the handle when they dropped, bringing his arm back and hit the shoulder pad of a teammate. Ball pounced off the ground. Up with it was Bostic, and the threat was stopped. So later in what is the doubleheader game in much of the country, the Seahawks and the Raiders at Los Angeles, conceivably the winner of that division could be an 8-8 team, but the AFC West has nothing to apologize for. 3 years ago, somebody was 11-5 in that division, didn't even make the playoffs.
Denver. Tipped.
Almost picked out by John Grimsley. Webster Slaughter had the play on the ball and lost it. And that brings up second down.
You know, Don Strock is a big quarterback and throws the ball over the top. He's had a couple of 3 balls tipped today, which have surprised me to no end. Here you see Don Strock looking at his menu. Almost a Rolodex there on his arm. He needs to dial touchdown right now.
Play coming up as second down and 10 from the 48-yard line of the Oilers. Oilers 3-4 on the road this season. 6-18 on the road and over their last 24 road games. As Strock is well behind his intended receiver Webster Slaughter. Patrick Allen covering on the play, and Don Strock. Here's the displeasure cascade down as they boo him here at Cleveland Stadium.
You know, one of the things Don Strock said about this offense, as you watch this incompletion, man-to-man coverage, Allen on Slaughter, and then it's basically thrown behind Allen. But the Miami offense is very, very short. You call a play like 86X out. You're in Cleveland. It's a very complicated call because he also calls blocking schemes, and he knows that one went wild.
Big down here, third down and 10. Long ball, man is open. He makes the play. Clarence Weathers, first down, Cleveland. Clarence Weathers, that quick little receiver, running the out pattern, right on time with the ball. Adjusting to it in flight for a 23-yard gain.
Domingo Bryant was the closest man in coverage, and Weathers has made some big catches today. Now keep it going. Hang on to the football somehow. Don't turn it over. That's zone coverage by Houston, which I think you're going to see a great deal of for the rest of the game. So there's going to be some holes there for Don Strock to find if he can throw it accurately.
Oilers closing in on home field in a wild card. They are 7-1 at the Dome this year at the Astrodome as Ernest Biner runs for the Browns on first down, and Johnny Meads knocks him down. The Giants conceivably could be out of the playoffs today. If the Rams beat the 49ers tonight and the Eagles win, the Giants are out. Game clock shows 8 minutes and 5 seconds left. Not much for Marty Schottenheimer's ball club. with this big a deficit to make up. 8 minutes left to go and still in the third quarter. The Browns have to start getting it into the end zone. They've been there once, and it was their defense that got there. A fumble pickup and run in by Michael Dean Perry. Swing pass. Biner running hard. Backs his arm down to the 15-yard line. He might have a first down. If not, he'll be inches away on a second down play.
Biner came into this ball game as the Cleveland Browns leading receiver. He has not had many catches today. In fact, that's his first.
Browns have talked all week. They wanted it snowy and windy and very cold, and they got their wish. But they have not performed well in it, particularly their quarterback. And the Oilers, their first cold weather game in 3 years, have thrived in these conditions. Brock looks a little like the old Vanderoo, doesn't he? Don Meredith, behind that face mask.
He's got a can that's 5 layers deep.
Throwing a strike downfield. Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome, who has a rocking chair in front of his locker now. In his 11th year from Alabama.
First catch of the day. It extends the streak.
He's made a lot of huge ones. Future Hall of Famer Ozzie Newsome of the Browns.
Well, the fans finally have something to cheer about now. They got to get this ball in the end zone for 7 points. And then you start onside kicks and blocking punts.
Well, we're still third quarter, though.
Sure.
But they haven't stopped Houston yet in the second hit. Ernest Biner's in. It's first and goal from the 3-yard line.
Jim Manoli in there, too, Don.
Swing pass, Biner. He's going in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nobody laid a glove on.
Been a long time between cheers here in the dog pound.
Matt Barr, who kicked for a Super Bowl winner at Pittsburgh, puts one up and through for the Browns. And they're not gone yet. Down 23-14 with 6:06 to play in the third quarter.
Houston comes with the blitz. Biner on the outside has nobody covering him.
The end zone with a touchdown throw to Biner. The return now on the subsequent kickoff, Lorenzo White, the former All-American from Michigan State, the #1 draft choice last April of the Houston Oilers, runs it back to the 24-yard line. But all of a sudden, the gusto is back in this Cleveland crowd. The Browns just had their best drive of the day, 63 yards in 8 plays, and Strock was hot from
5 of 7 on that drive for 61 yards.
NBC statistician Elliot Kalb totaling the numbers here furiously. As the Oilers align at the 24-yard line, and this Cleveland crowd is right back in this game big time. Rozier hit by Golick and driven back. Bob Golick, a 3-time Pro Bowl middle guard.
Lonzo Highsmith. And Mike Junkin a little fighting and arguing, and now the Dogs trying to take over. There's Rozier.
Golick started out as a linebacker. He said his de-evolution took him to nose tackle.
By the way, in case you're wondering, Mr. Golick put up the annual Christmas display in his locker this year, including trains and fake garlands and lights to the entertainment of all the Cleveland Browns. Become a Cleveland tradition here.
It has. 5:25 to go, third quarter. Oilers with the ball, second down and 10. They lead by 9. Throw and a catch to Givens, and he's away from the defender. And look at Ernest Givens go as he's all the way out to the 49-yard line of Cleveland. What a player. 25-yard gain, and the Oilers strike when they needed it badly.
Golick on Pennison, the nose tackle there, tries to put pressure. His feet slide underneath him. And Minifield misses the tackle. The pass defense of the Cleveland Browns.
Felix Wright finally got him.
Has not worked today. These fast, little, quick wide receivers of the Houston Oilers out-quick the defensive backs of the Cleveland Browns. Time and time again, they've gotten Houston out of trouble.
Givens with 58 catches this season. Moon throws another strike. Once again, Ernest Givens is unstoppable in the secondary of the Cleveland Browns. A second-round draft choice from Louisville. He's 5'9", 175. Extraordinary athletic ability. Oilers talk about how he can dunk a basketball. He told me one day he can do anything Spud Webb can do. He was a top baseball prospect till he hooked up against Dwight Gooden of the Mets in a high school championship game in his native Florida. Dwight paid him about 4 times.
I don't think Spud Webb wants to play on a day like this outdoors. Givens now has 100 yards receiving.
Alan Pinkett, who's only 5'7", 185, but he's had a big year for the Oilers with over 500 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns. At Giants Stadium, the Giants have begun a rally. They're now down 20-14 in the 4th quarter against the Jets. The Giants could go either to a divisional championship with a win or conceivably to out of the playoffs with a loss, depending what the Rams do tonight.
Giants are the away team in that game, aren't they?
They only got 500 tickets in their home park. But the Jets also play their home games at Giant Stadium, and it was a Jet home game. 3:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Warren Moon on 2nd down and 9, going deep, going for the ball, but unable to get to it is Curtis Duncan, a sprinter from Northwestern.
That was close.
Moon lamenting an open man he didn't hit. He hasn't missed many.
He beat Frank Minifield.
Mike Gallagher, the young cameraman from Erie, Pennsylvania, at St. Vincent's Hospital here in Cleveland, we're happy to report is fine. Only shaken up when those 2 players crashed into him in the end zone. So to Mike Gallagher's friends and family in Erie, he's ready to come back.
Maybe next week.
I think he's going to shoot again today.
Another big down here. It's been Givens all day long for Houston. Blitz.
They're down at 9. Long ball. Duncan goes for it, and Duncan loses it in the 50 inside the 15-yard line. Frank Minifield was covering 31. Felix Wright having a great year at safety for the Browns. He's been in just about every coverage they have.
Well, Don, you know what? Duncan got behind Frank Minifield. Probably their best coverage cornerback. That's twice he's beaten him deep.
Moon was kind of thrown off a back foot against the all-out blitz. He just triggered it as far as he could before it got to him. Now Greg Montgomery, the rookie from Michigan State, into punt for only the 2nd time today. The Ice Cube, Gerald McNeil, is back as Montgomery will try to place it out of bounds. 2:55 to play in the 3rd quarter. Houston 23, Cleveland 14. Browns have to win to go to the playoffs. On the run, Gerald McNeil at 145 pounds. Takes on the big people and gets the ball to the 21-yard line. So Don Strock, who finally got hot on this cold day, the last drive, will be back on the field when we return to Cleveland. Cleveland Stadium, look at the rushing yards. Not much happening on the ground, but elsewhere there's been big plays. The Oilers have been held to 30 yards and 20 carries.
Those are unbelievable numbers.
But Houston leads the game 23-14.
You would certainly think on a day with this kind of weather and this kind of field that rushing would be the big deal. It has not been a factor today.
A long way to go. 2:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Cleveland went 63 yards the last possession for its first touchdown from the offense. Timing pattern. He's open. Man is there on the run. Flying down the field is Webster Slaughter. He's across midfield and out of bounds inside the 45-yard line of Houston. 32-yard gain.
Patrick Allen slipped and fell. Watch what happens. Allen 29. Webster Slaughter. Whoa, Allen guesses wrong. And then you see him slip. Don Strock puts it right on the money. Richard Johnson finally makes the tackle. 32-yard pickup. This is well thrown. I don't know if they gave Don Strock a dose of sunshine, some vitamin C or something. All of a sudden, he's a lot better quarterback than he was in the first half.
Development at Indianapolis. The Colts have just scored, and with 5:40 to go, they're back to within a 14-10 count of the Bills. Fontenot turns the corner and cuts upfield, where he's driven down at the 43-yard line. A first down carry, good for a gain of maybe 4 yards, as Al Smith made the stop for Houston. A reminder to our viewers that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. 2:20 to play in the third quarter. For the Browns to get in, they must beat the Oilers. Then they would host Houston next Saturday in the AFC wildcard game. For the Colts to get in, the Browns have to lose and the Colts have to win. For the Patriots to get in, Cleveland has to lose and the Colts have to lose. Houston is in as a wild card. Second down carry, good for a gain of close to 7 yards, as Herman Fontenot runs the ball.
This is a gritty second half performance by the Cleveland Browns, Don, especially when you consider the Houston Oilers come out the opening drive and score. Cleveland scores their next time, and they're driving again.
But they have it by the nose of the ball. First down, Cleveland. You were talking, Trump, and you've played on this field many times as a Bengal. Now, even though it was not frozen at the outset of the day, with the wind and the snow, over a period of 3 or 4 hours, it can get rock solid.
Absolutely. It's like a pool table. It's like your driveway. It's like the street in front of your house. Very hard.
Ryan Brennan comes out on the near flank. First down and 10, Cleveland. Oilers call a defensive shift. They send the blitz. Here's a timing throw, and it's just off target to Derek Tennell.
Houston trying to come with a blitz. Well read by Don Strock. He goes to the audible, and then he just couldn't make the completion. Jeff Donaldson, 31, was the closest one to 81, Tennell. You can see him faking the blitz, and as a matter of fact, 25 Bostic is up in there. Just can't get the ball out to the tight end.
There is Donaldson from Colorado. Roving free safety, making plays all over. Second down and 10, Cleveland. Play fake to Fontenot. Swing pass, hard thrown. Biner with good hands makes the catch, and he's ahead to the 29-yard line. Gain on the play of about 7. Bring up third down and 3 for Cleveland. Steve Brown, the left corner, and Robert Lyles, left outside backer, on the stop. Marty Lyons sees his team slowly, or Marty Schottenheimer sees his team slowly climb back into the game.
Now going with 4 wide receivers, the Cleveland Browns are. Brennan is the sure-handed receiver, but Weathers has been the guy that Don Strock has found most often today.
It's still the third quarter. Clock running, 35 seconds to play in it. Strock gets it away against a blitz. It's incomplete as Strock is hit by his main nemesis today, Domingo Bryant, who has intercepted him twice, returning one for a touchdown.
You got a tough choice here. Go for the field goal or go for the first down. Now they're going for the first down. You can see the pressure again. Domingo Bryant untouched by anybody. Strock realizes it, actually does a great job of getting the ball off. And they're going for it, or at least going to act like they're going for it, on 4th down and 3.
Watch Fontenot. They've hit Fontenot on this play earlier. He swings out of the backfield. He's aligned just in front and to the right of Strock. Blitz, they came early. That might be a free play. Downfield throws to the wrong side of Clarence Weathers.
Now who's it on, offense or defense?
Yeah, I think it was a blitz, a safety blitz, and he looked like he left early, Bryant. If it was a defensive foul, it'll be a first down for the Browns on the 5 yards. It was a 4th and 4 play. That's the call.
Wait a minute. Okay, I was going to say the Cleveland Browns players were indicating against Houston, but it does go against the Oilers.
You do need that striped shirt to say it also.
Yes, you do. That's when it counts.
Offside. defense, 5 yards, first down.
An unnamed defensive player. We think Johnny Meads, the outside linebacker, coming on the blitz.
I'll tell you, it's news when Johnny Meads doesn't blitz. He blitzes almost every down. Cleveland keeps the drive alive. First down and 10. They're trailing 23-14 in the closing seconds of the third quarter. Tip ball. Oh, incomplete.
He almost caught that ball on the carom.
And it was wide open for an interception, too, on the tip.
It was intended for Derek Tennell. Reggie Langhorne almost comes. 81 is Tennell. Bostic 25 right there. 24 is Steve Brown, and he almost makes the catch.
Keeping Langhorne away from it.
Yeah. That was very, very close to a catch and/or an interception. Webster Slaughter running the post. Don Strock is tied to the out.
16 seconds to go, third quarter. The Browns down by 9, trying to rally here. Pitch back on the run, Fontenot, and he is down inside the 20-yard line, down close to the 17. Robert Lyles ran him out of bounds. No quitting these Clevelanders. They seem to be gone.
Personality of the Houston Oilers backing off a little bit here. Allowed the Cleveland Browns to get back in the game.
Pittsburgh closing out big against Miami.
Well, Don, this is 3rd down and 6 here, but this is definitely a tough choice if they don't make this 3rd down for Schottenheimer. Do you go for it, or do you put Matt Barr in there for the field goal attempt?
4 wide receivers in the game. 3rd down and 6. Here's a throw, a catch. It's taken in nicely by Webster Slaughter.
That's enough
for a first down. He appears to have the first down. So in the concluding play of the third quarter, the Cleveland Browns drive on in what could be the start of an historic comeback in Cleveland. At the end of the third quarter, the score, Houston 23, Cleveland 14. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
She was seduced by a young stranger into a marriage made for murder.
The man studies up on me, and then he moves in for the kill.
Stephanie Powers, she was marked for murder tonight.
Ford represents quality and performance.
Ford Ranger is the #1 selling compact pickup in America. Ford F-Series is the #1 selling full-size pickup in America. In fact, 5 of America's 10 best-selling cars and trucks are Fords.
I drive a Ford.
14, Houston, but the Browns are challenging as we're set to open the fourth quarter. Don Criqui with Bob Trump. I don't think Trump we're losing any viewers in the hub of the universe, Boston, Mass. where Coach Raymond Berry and his lads are standing by.
I have a feeling that they are remotely interested in the outcome of this football game. Cleveland just surpassed Houston in total yards, 255 to 252, driving again.
Don Strock now goes to the open end of the field. End up to Biner. Both arms on the ball as those Oilers come a-hitting, trying to knock it free. They have 4 takeaways from Cleveland today. 3 interceptions and a fumble.
Look how the Browns have caught up in time of possession. A big factor, the 4 turnovers. 3 interceptions and a fumble. Oilers scored the first time they came out in the second half. Cleveland responded with a score. Cleveland shut down Houston. Now Cleveland about to go in.
Not yet, though, against this Oiler defense. And here is Biner again as they completely shut it down.
Don, it looks to me like they're playing for the field goal here. Bird is down and hurt.
William Fuller appears to be down. And that's Bird, the nose tackle, who's down. And Fuller's also down. 2 Oilers are down. There's William Fuller, defensive end from North Carolina. So it's been a rough and cold day in Cleveland, and it continues. Oh, man.
Extraordinary job of blocking along the line of scrimmage. Fontenot puts Patrick Allen on his, Steve Brown on his rear end. Biner up through there. That's 2 drives in the second half, 2 touchdowns, Cleveland.
Very big extra point is spun up and good by Matt Barr. And the Cleveland Browns all of a sudden have put up 14 unanswered points, and they're back to within 2 with 13-17 to play.
You wouldn't believe the stuff my dad had to do to get his hands on his dream machine. You name it, he'd do it.
Factor well below 0. It is electrically charged here at Cleveland Stadium with excitement as the Browns have rallied. Down 23-7. They've now come back 23-21 they trail as they kick off. And the Oilers wait for it. That's Alan Pinkett running the ball back across the 20. He breaks it. Alan Pinkett was in open field. The last man to get him got him. And that was the man who kicked off Matt Barr. And Matt Barr is down. And that is could be a critical development because this could be a field goal game. Barr saved a touchdown. It's his arm, not his leg, though.
He comes into the game with cracked ribs. They think at least 1, maybe more. He's been hurt on several situations making tackles.
We saw him against the Steelers get a serious knee injury, kept him out for a year.
Looks like the way his foot slipped out, he may have pulled a muscle of some sort. He's had knee surgery, and they need a field goal, might need a field goal. And I don't think Max Reniger kicks field goals.
Sets the offense for the Oilers and goes right up top, swings it out. That's Rozier running, and he breaks tackles and gets ahead for a Houston first down to the 49-yard line of Cleveland.
Now let's go back to that touchdown of Cleveland. Beautifully executed. Fontenot, 28, is out there in front, does a great job blocking. Tim Manoa, 42, gets a big block, and Biner powers into the end zone to put Cleveland back in this game down by 2. But now, let's work on Matt Barr. Get him healthy. The defense has got to stop Houston here. Get the ball back in the hands of the offense as soon as possible.
Second and about a foot. Oilers go to the run, and Pinkett running hard, gets ahead, and he gets 5 yards and a first down for the Oilers. The Giants down 20-7 in a game that could have knocked them out of the playoffs now have rallied to take the lead in the 4th quarter over the Jets. And the Giants with the win the NFC East. With a loss, as we mentioned, the Giants could conceivably, if the Rams won tonight at San Francisco, not be in the playoffs.
The report is, Don, that Matt Barr hurt his ribs again.
He'll be back because he has to be back.
He's the only one. He may have the most important kick of this season.
That is as painful the Oilers now. They had a lot of offense in the first half throwing the ball, and they've gone right back to it. Warren Moon again executing well as we have an official timeout on the field. It appears the referee is coming over to talk to the replay official upstairs.
Or question somebody about the clock. They're huddling there about the 47-yard line. Glanville has seen his team let this game emotionally slip out of their hands.
Glanville, when he was a kid, told me today he snuck into the 57 Cleveland-Detroit Lions game at Tiger Stadium. NFL championship game.
Here.
No, in 57 it was in Detroit.
In 56 he came here. Yeah, there's no 30-second clock.
Cleveland and Detroit won that day 56-7.
He grew up a Detroit fan. He's from a little town called Perrysburg, Ohio.
Was that near Toledo?
Yeah, near Toledo. And was a Detroit Lions fan.
Never forget Bobby Lane threw a touchdown and a big field goal to open the scoring. Here's a swing pass. Alan Pinkett. And he darts for the 12th man and gets out of bounds. On a first down play, he got only 2. And now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live in New York. Here's Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, hoping for a Cleveland loss, the Colts have rallied, trying to do their part on this 7-yard scoring pass from Hogaboom to Bentley. Hogaboom playing in place of the injured Chris Chandler. Following the extra point, they take the lead on the Bills, 17-14 in the 4th.
Things are changing every moment.
Unbelievable quote. The curtain comes down this regular season. It's probably the most dramatic ending. So many games meaning so much. And here is a throw, and it's lost by Givens. And he is straightened out. Brian Washington knocks him down. Shortly, those of you in Kansas City and Seattle will be leaving us. We'll keep you informed of the game through the rest of the afternoon on NFL Live.
That ball thrown high. Givens really took a shot. You see Givens get it down, get it down. Warren Moon's numbers on a day like today, absolutely remarkable.
No turnovers by Warren Moon.
He got that one fumble, and it was not his fault. Not thrown an interception.
No interceptions, I said. Yeah, he fumbled when he was hit on that free blitz shot Dave Grayson put on him. 11:27 to play. 3rd down and 7. Here's a throw, and is it caught? It is. What a play by Givens. A sensational play by Ernest Givens, who caught it knee-high against 2 defenders, and he gets Houston a 1st down.
There's a flag, though, against Houston.
Might be a holding call against the Oilers. It's an illegal motion that brings the play back. So instead of a 1st down, it'll be 3rd down and about 13.
Illegal formation, number 77 offense, not up on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Bruce Davis, you see offensive tackles a lot of times nowadays. They sit up in the 2-point, and your shoulders must be lined up down the line of scrimmage. Davis, knowing the importance of pass protection in this particular drive, off the line of scrimmage too much.
Davis is the biggest Oiler. He weighs 333 pounds. Jerry Glanville said he was going to change his number to 747 if he got any bigger. Third down and 13. Down the middle it goes, and Drew Hill can't get to the ball. As Sam Clancy had the rush on Warren Moon. Also rushing on the play was Carl Hairston. And now the Cleveland Browns will get it back on a Houston punt.
Great coverage that time by Stephen Braggs. He was right in front of the intended receiver. There he is on the sideline. He did his job. Now I think Houston has to protect against a block punt attempt here by Cleveland.
Long hit downfield.
Oh, that's
knocked out of bounds by Greg Montgomery inside the 10-yard line. We'll see where they mark the ball. As Montgomery looks downfield, and the clock shows 10 minutes and 54 seconds to play.
About the 10, you're right. 1st and 90 for a trip to the playoffs for the Cleveland Browns.
The long field to go for the Browns, but they've moved it for touchdowns their last 2 possessions.
I don't know. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. What are you going to do?
You don't want those fries.
What are you going to do, Jack?
Years ago, in the early days of network television coverage, black and white coverage, as we go to living color, when the Cleveland Browns first came into the National Football League in 1950. The then commissioner of the NFL, Bert Bell, said first let them get a football. The Browns brought in more than that. They won a league championship their first year in the NFL. Today they're trying to rally to get into the playoffs for a 4th consecutive year. As you know, the last 2 years they've gone to within 1 game of the Super Bowl, losing to Denver. Art Modell, the president and owner of the Cleveland Browns, looking on when it seemed all was lost. Now the motion is picked up in Cleveland, as the Browns have rallied for 14 straight points, and they trail by just 2. Oiler defense digs in as the traction is poor on this frozen tundra. Strop, out pattern. Biner has it, breaks 1 tackle, takes on another, and Biner is thrown out of bounds. Gain on the play of about 7 yards.
Ron, here's the story of this game. In the first half, the Cleveland Browns had no success whatsoever and trailed 16-7. They're only points by the defense. Second half, it has certainly turned around, hasn't it? Stand out there in the snow, doesn't it?
Hand off. With the ball, Fontenot protecting it, and the Oilers come gang tackling, trying to punch it free. Doug Smith, big 99, a 295-pound nose tackle, was the first to make the hit. He was out here yesterday in a pair of shorts, throwing snowballs. Indianapolis rallies to take a 3-point lead on the Bills. It could all be for naught if Cleveland came back to win this game. Colts need the Cleveland Browns to lose to get in. So do the Patriots. Third and short now as Strock sets in the shotgun. He needs 2. He gets it. Going to catch the Langhorn. And holding out was outside linebacker Robert Lyles. He very nearly would have gone the distance.
Don, this performance by the Cleveland Browns in the second half has basically taken the Houston Oilers out of their defensive plan. They're not blitzing. You see them back in zone. They do not play zone well. Langhorn gets twisted around and he knows, oh, if I break that one, I'm gone. But they got Houston now sitting back on their heels, and the clock is in their favor. Maybe the most important guy on the field is Matt Barr. How are his ribs? A field goal wins.
23-21 Oilers, but the Browns with the ball. Biner. First down carry, not for very much as he hits into the right side of the Houston defense. Matt Barr hurting but ready to go back out when needed as Grimsley and Smith combined on the tackle for the Houston Oilers. Game clock down to 8:55 and running in the fourth quarter.
Biner's limping.
It's been a tough year for the Cleveland Browns. They lost their starting quarterback Bernie Kosar for 6 weeks. He came back, hurt again Monday night. He's out of this game. They lost their best runner for 9 weeks, or parts of 9 weeks, Kevin Mack, an all-pro cornerback. Hanford Dixon has not played today.
Now you got Tim Minoa in there who has had this penchant for fumbling.
He won't get it. He'll block.
Oh, he's open.
Ball downfield, going for it, and catching it is Slaughter, and he's down to the 39-yard line. Langhorn gets it. 88 Langhorn comes down with the ball. A 26-yard gain.
Patrick Allen, the man in coverage. 29. Ball underthrown slightly. Allen not looking at it. Langhorn does. There have been some big plays by the Cleveland Browns in this half. See the little hand on the back? No call. He catches the ball. Stays inbounds. First down. Now Matt Barr's got to get up and start warming up here.
Well, there's a lot of time left. 8:33 to play. The Browns turned it over 4 times in the first half, not at all in the second half. Pitch back, Langhorn blocking and running with the ball is Fontenot. And he's ahead for a good gain. He apparently is going to be inside the 35-yard line.
Don, look at the Houston Oilers. Suddenly, Meads is down on the ground, suddenly moving a lot slower. The defense is.
Good to see it's not his knee. Johnny Meads missed a year and a half with a reconstructed knee and has played terrifically since as they dust off the yard marker.
That's an optimistic Cleveland Municipal Stadium employee. He is dusting off the goal line. To inform the fans watching once again, if Cleveland wins, they do it again here next week.
Doubleheader day on NBC Sports. The Seahawks and the Raiders play at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The winner wins the AFC West and goes to the playoffs. The loser is out. Also, as a second game, parts of the country will see Kansas City play the Chargers at San Diego. We'd also like to extend very best wishes and continued good health and success to the head of NBC Sports West Coast Operations Director, Phil Brown, who is retiring. Final scores: Philadelphia beat Dallas 23-7. The Jets have come back. O'Brien to Al Toon, and the Jets now lead the Giants 27-21 with 37 seconds to play.
There's Matt Barr warming up. We still have Johnny Meads down on the ground. this to be taken badly, but there are a lot of instances in professional football where players are injected for injuries with pain-numbing substances. I asked Matt Barr about, can you get your ribs shot to kick? And he said, I had a very bad experience with a reaction to one of those injections in college, and I don't even take aspirin. So whatever pain he's got because of those cracked ribs, he must endure in what might be a game-winning field goal situation.
Will sacrifice his body for love of the Browns. 8:27 to play in the game. Houston leads 23-21. Cleveland driving. Second down. Pitch back. Fontenot cutting back somehow on this frozen field. He got only the line of scrimmage, though. Maybe he lost half a yard, and that'll bring up third down and just under 3. Free safety Jeff Donaldson was on the play for the Oilers. The clock runs down inside of 8 minutes as Coach Glanville looks on impassively, at least on the outside.
Don, this is certainly two-down area here for Cleveland. 10, 20, they're at about the 32. This is definitely two-down area.
Browns 8 of 14 on third down. 3rd and 2.
He's going to throw.
Manoa swings it out. A live ball very nearly picked up. Now here is a huge play. A huge play. John Grimsley tipped it. They've got to go for it. On 4th down and 2, it's too long a field goal try.
It'd be like 49 yards from the spot where the ball is put down. Now, last time they were in this situation, they drew Houston offside.
4th down and 2 for the Cleveland Browns at the 32-yard line of Houston.
Reiner's back in the ball game.
Might be the biggest play of the Browns season to date right now. 4th and 2 from the shotgun. Browns trailing by 2. A throw and a catch and a first down. Langhorne makes the play. Hard thrown ball, and he was popped by Donaldson and Brown. But Langhorne, slow to get up, held on to make the play. And it's first down Cleveland at the 24-yard line of Houston.
He paid the price. Little slant. Inside Steve Brown in coverage. Langhorne does a good job of handling the bump, and then Jeff Donaldson hammers him to the ground. He hangs onto the football.
What a day for Reggie Langhorne. 6 for 68, and that was the biggest of all. Now the Browns are well within Matt Farr's range. First down and 10 Cleveland. Brennan in motion. Second back, Fontenot weaves his way and gets down inside the 25 to the 22. And now, while we have a moment, back to NFL Live. Bob?
Don, here it is at the Hoosier Dome, 4th and 15, and Jeff Herrod of the Colts will sack Jim Kelly. That finishes it. The Colts win 17-14, and they're in the playoffs to play at Houston if the Browns lose this game. Meanwhile, Buffalo has blown home field advantage to Cincinnati.
Big things happening. Thank you, Bob. We have 6:34 to play here in Cleveland. Don Trickey with Bob Crumpy, as now the Cleveland Browns have second down and a long 7. Throw, open, touchdown Cleveland. Webster Slaughter. So Strock, who was almost run out of town in the first half, now becomes the toast of Cleveland, Ohio, with a line drive strike for a touchdown. This, Trump has to rate as one of Cleveland's greatest comebacks
ever. With a quarterback from Florida. 12 plays. The drive started at their own 11-yard line. Justification for the drive they gave up to Denver 2 years ago.
Good point. Extra points, a knuckleball, but it's right where it had to be, between the posts. The Oilers still have a lot of time, and they'll get it back. 6:23 to play in the game, but the Oilers have to score a touchdown now as they're behind 28-23.
3 drives in the second half and 3 scores by the Cleveland Browns. Webster Slaughter runs the slant. There is very little pressure on Don Strock from behind the offense. Watch Jeff Donaldson reading his eyes. Strock looks him off. And Slaughter makes the catch. When you have a veteran quarterback like Don Strock looking off, that free safety is key. Schottenheimer knows the play. Glanville, no. And a lot of people have questioned the offensive coordinator, Marty Schottenheimer of the Browns, in the second half. No questions about his job today.
Don Strock has now gone over 300 yards passing. 23 of 39 for 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, and those 3 first-quarter interceptions. He's passed for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions in the second half. 11-play drive, 81 yards.
3 possessions in the second half, 21 points. Just like that. Now this has got to be painful for Matt Barr. What a story. Don Strock.
Right. Barr kicks off. On the 4th or 5th hop that is picked up, and on the run back, going straight ahead with the ball. Looks like Highsmith took it back. Cleveland special teams come hitting hard. Spencer Tillman was on the play.
What a change of emotion.
Back, and he'll give him field position now just across the 25-yard line.
What a change of emotion.
Seattle and the Raiders competing for the AFC Western Division Championship at the Coliseum in Los Angeles next. On many of these NBC stations. We got a long way to go now in Cleveland, though. 6:15 still to be played as the Browns have come back with 21 straight points. Down 23-7. They lead 28-23. Warren Moon swings it out. He's got Drew Hill, who's ahead for very close to first down yardage. A 1st and 10 play is good for about 9 or 10 yards. Dave Grayson, the outside linebacker, who put that blitz hit on Warren Moon that freed the ball and led to the Browns' first touchdown, was covering on the play.
Now the tough choice for Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator of the Browns. Do you cover or do you rush? That is, do you lay off or do you try to put pressure on Warren Moon? The coverage has not been good today for the Cleveland Browns.
Warren Moon has thrown over twice as many touchdowns as he has interceptions this season. A 2-to-1 ratio, TDs, interceptions. He's the only QB in the NFL that has that, and he needs to throw in this game now as the running game is going nowhere. The Jets. And I would say the Jets have just scored their most important victory, the most valued victory by that franchise since they beat the Colts in the '69 Super Bowl, beating the Giants today. That's how much antipathy there is between those two teams that play at the same ball yard. They're at Giant Stadium today. The Jets get a winning season out of it, and they could conceivably have knocked the Giants out of the playoffs. They did knock them out of the divisional championship.
The Giants must now sit and watch Rams play San Francisco to know whether or not they're still in the playoffs. Back to the snow and cold of Cleveland.
Warren Moon and the Oilers with first down and 10. 5:08 to play. Moon stands in. Long ball. Man is out there, but Duncan cannot run under it. Curtis Duncan running free. He had a step on the defenders, but it was too long. Now back to NFL Live. Bob?
Bob Costas back in New York. Here's how the Jets upset the Giants. Ken O'Brien 5 yards to Al Toon with just 37 seconds left. They win 27-21. Bill Parcells and the Giants don't win the NFC East. The Eagles do. The Giants are a wild card if the Niners beat the Rams tonight, but if the Rams win, they are in and the Giants are out.
Thank you, Bob. 5:03 to go here in Cleveland. The Oilers, who led by 16, are now down by 5. Here's a throw, and is it a catch? It is not at the 49-yard line. Drew Hill made a diving play on the ball. against it now, but they are in the playoffs, Houston, before this game began. But they would have to come back here to Cleveland for the same scenario all over again.
Matter of fact, he told the players, if you lose, you're going to spend the week here. But I can stand it. You guys can't. Obviously, he was joking.
Well, they're rocking and rolling in Cleveland under the lights now. This crowd was out of the game as it seemed the Browns were out of this game. 3rd down and 10 for the Oilers. They'll have to go on 4th down if they don't hit it here. Long ball. Jeffries can't make the play. He dove, but he was just a bit short of the play. Haywood Jeffries, who caught a touchdown pass earlier, remember, and now here's 4th down, and the Oilers are going to gamble that their defense can't hold Cleveland. 4:52 to play.
No one realizes he just overthrows Haywood Jeffries.
Got some arm,
in any weather. You realize that if Cleveland wins 3 entrants from the AFC Central, the first time a 4-team division has sent 3 teams to the playoffs. They don't have that stiff 5th team in a lot of instances to beat up on.
Montgomery kicks an errant punt downfield. Browns will get fairly good field position out of that, and the Oiler defense comes out trying to get the ball back. The Cleveland Browns lead it. If they can mount a drive here, they could put this game away and have home field in the wild card. And I think from what we said before probably holds true. This has to be one of their greatest comebacks in a storied franchise's history.
Yes. Don, especially with the manner in which the Cleveland Browns have played in 1988. With all the injuries they've had, with the problems that Marty Schottenheimer has had, with the supposed rift between the offensive line and Bernie Kosar. If they win today, it cures a lot of ills in 1988.
No covered field in the Cleveland Browns with Don Strock at quarterback. Go to run the clock now, and the Oilers come hunting the ball. Childress, the Pro Bowl defensive end, puts a hard hit on it. Bird, who was not supposed to return to the game, is right back in there, and he was in on the tackle also.
Houston takes a timeout.
I don't know if Coach Glanville's frozen now or what. It's not hard to do in this day.
No, the man in black is
ready.
fine.
He's all right. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, of the Houston Oilers and the Cleveland Browns. All rights are reserved.
I think the Houston Oilers' chances to get this ball back and win is going to rest on an attempted punt block. I think Marty Schottenheimer is telling Don Strock, we take no chances here. Of course, Biner last year fumbled the ball in the AFC Championship game against Denver out at Mile High Stadium. And he's basically the back that's going to get it. But protect that football. Don't turn it over and try to get the punt off.
2nd down and 11 for Don Strock and the Cleveland Browns, who lead 28-23. Throwing a catch. Biner stays in bounds. Didn't get much, though, and 3rd down comes up. 4:30 to play.
Bernie's in it again the game. He's got his rally cap on. He doesn't need those sunglasses today hanging around his neck.
The lights have been on since before the game.
You can tell the little limp in his gait just by looking at his shoulders. He's wearing a big Lenox Hill knee brace to protect it. And knowing Bernie Kosar, this is a game he'd love to be in.
The outset, you'd think Don Strock would have had to leave the stadium in this town with a police escort after throwing interceptions on the first 3 drives. Now he's come back to be the hero. Here's another strike by Strock. And again, he goes to Webster Slaughter. Their last combination, you remember, was in the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown.
This is an unbelievable performance by Don Strock. 18 yards on the catch. And whatever he said to himself, or somebody said to him at halftime, He has done the job. 12 weeks here in Cleveland after 14 years in Miami.
.38-year-old Don Strock, shades of George Blanda, coming back on this day for the injured Bernie Kosar and rallying his team in a game they have to win. The whole season for Cleveland came down to one game, and that's this one. They have to win it to get in. And now we're going to go back to Bob Costas at NFL Live with another update. Bob?
Don, after your game is finished in Cleveland, most of your viewers will see the Seahawks and Raiders battle for the title in the AFC West. It's tied now at 7 after David Craig threw this 35-yarder. The future Hall of Famer Steve Largent even up at 7 late in the first quarter at the Coliseum in L.A. Take a deep breath, go back to work.
Thank you, Bob. Interesting development there, 7-7. The Raiders and the Seahawks playing for the AFC West title. Look at those numbers after those 3 interceptions in the first quarter. Penalty markers go down on a 2nd down and 8 play, and the game clock's down to 3 minutes remaining.
Don, what makes it even more remarkable about Don Strock is his last start was in 1983. He's played 14 years and started a total of 20 games.
And he had just that one start as a Cleveland Brown against the Eagles in October, and that was a win.
You mentioned George Blanda. How about, does this remind you more of Earl Morrall?
Well, he played behind Earl Morrall, believe it or not, at one time in his career. He was behind Bob Greasy, behind Earl Morrall, behind David Woodley, and behind, of course, Dan Marino, who credits Strock with his greatness, or a lot of it, getting good so fast. Look at those Oilers hit. Bostic comes up and sticks, and so does Grimsley, 59, and the Oilers now call for a timeout with 2:38 to play. 3rd down and 3 comes up.
It is very cold on Houston's side of the ball right now. Very cold. They're gonna, Jerry Glanville's gonna see his footprints in the snow next week here.
They are going back to Houston for the week. And if somehow the Oilers can pull it out, they'll go back to Houston to host the wild card game.
I think you take your chances here. 3rd down, I still say it may come down to an attempted blocked punt by Houston for their only chance to get back in the game, and warm weather sights when this game ends at the Coliseum, at Jack Murphy Stadium.
The Colts rallied from a 14-3 deficit to beat the Bills and knock Buffalo out of home field. Cincy would have it if they win their first playoff game. The Jets could have conceivably knocked the Giants out of the playoffs. They surely knocked them out of a chance to win a divisional title. The Eagles win the NFC East with their win at Dallas. Seattle now scoring to go out in front of the Raiders 14-7. The Seahawks would go in as AFC Western champion, or the Raiders would, depending on who takes that. And that'll be the doubleheader game most of you will see when we conclude here. On 3rd down and a long 3, the Browns drive on and get a 1st down.
Houston has 1 timeout left. They are taking it.
They'll get another at the 2-minute warning.
I think these Houston Oilers sitting here in disbelief.
The Browns have beaten the Oilers 7 of the last 9 times they've played. The Houston Regulars have not won here in Cleveland, where they play every season, since 1981. And they seem to have this game locked. Houston building up a 23-7 lead. And then came the Browns' onslaught as Don Strock, after that awful start, played some of the greatest football of his 15-year career, maybe the greatest.
Don, maybe the worst thing that happened to Houston is that in football games they have a halftime. You go in, you get warm, have a cup of soup, cup of coffee, warm up a little bit, come back out, and even though they scored on the opening drive of the 2nd half, this has been a real character check for the Cleveland Browns.
That would be a 12:30 Eastern Time start. With NFL Live beginning at 12 on NBC Sports. Houston will be at Cleveland next week for the AFC wild card game if the Oilers don't get the ball back and come back and win. But right now the Browns in command. That big Santa was up here. He's getting set for his mission very shortly. Before the game, Crumpin said he's been here the last 8 years in the last regular season game, and every time the Browns have won. Santa's also an Oilers fan. Jim Marshall. Al Smith makes the stop, as only now the 2-minute warning can stop the clock. The Oilers are out of timeouts.
What a turnaround. What a comeback. Grab your thesaurus for this performance in the second half. All the adjectives you can lay in a row.
2 minutes to play. The Browns that far away from making the playoffs for a 4th straight year. And Don Strock is the toast of Cleveland. Without Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Cleveland Stadium, where the Browns have mounted one of the great comebacks in their history. Down 23-7 in the game they had to win. They've rallied now for 21 unanswered points to lead the game 28-23 over Houston. And so it sets up the AFC wild card match. The next meeting will be the same as the last. Houston at Cleveland, unless somehow the Oilers are able to get the ball back and score a touchdown. 2 minutes to play. Houston's out of timeouts. Double tight end. Browns are going to run it. Fontenot gets the ball down on a second down carry for a loss of maybe a yard, but they're not concerned now with yardage as much as they are with using all the time they have.
This is
Don Strock Day.
Yeah. Not for the Cleveland Browns, but for any team in the NFL to be as embarrassed as they were in the first half and then allow a score on the first drive of the second half and then come back to take a lead and be in a position to win this game. Unbelievable. He's got to be the most valuable player.
Back to the run again, and down to 1:09 to go, and the Oilers powerless to stop the clock. Now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, Don Strock of the Cleveland Browns. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer and director of today's game, Ted Nathanson. The producer of today's game, Larry Cirillo. The coordinating producer of NFL Live is John J. Filippelli. NFL Live produced by Tommy Roy and Ricky Diamond, directed by Bucky Gunts. Technical directors Lenny Stucker and Dick Sansevier. As the ball is off the fingertips of Langhorne, who's made a lot of big plays today for the Cleveland Browns.
So Houston's going to get the ball back here, Don, with 20 seconds to go. Look at those numbers by Don Strock. Just his second 300-yard passing performance ever in a snowstorm.
Our NBC statistician Elliot Cal pointing out in the second half that Don Strock has completed 16 of 22 passes for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And the Houston numbers are good too.
Moon was terrific.
Now, of course, the Cleveland advantage here is they'll have defensive backs so deep because they need a touchdown to score. They'll give them the yardage in front.
Drop back and let her rip, and here he goes against the rush. He swings it out. Alan Pinkett running in the open field, sprints to the sideline. So Pinkett getting a lot of action, the third-year back from Notre Dame. But it's got to be a hit into the end zone, and only 12 seconds remain.
What is the weather forecast for next Sunday in Cleveland?
How about on Saturday?
Excuse me, on Saturday.
I think we're looking at the forecast. Live preview.
Coming up here once to play in this cold weather, Houston didn't care for. Coming up here twice, not something they're interested in, but that's their fate.
Maybe 2 plays left for the Oilers. No timeouts. Moon sidesteps. Fires. He makes a connection, but that could be it. 3, 2. The Oilers can't stop the clock, and the Cleveland Browns come back to win. Schottenheimer. He said emotion would turn the game, but emotion was gone from his team after those 3 first-quarter interceptions of his QB, Don Strock. They'll be tough to beat next week. And that will do it from Cleveland on a great day for the Browns. A bitter disappointment and bitter cold for the Oilers, but they both come back to play again here next Saturday. Now for Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey. The final score, the Cleveland Browns 28, the Houston Oilers 23. Now stay tuned for the second half of today's doubleheader. Either Seattle at the LA Raiders or Kansas City at San Diego. All this